course, has been back now a few games, so looking forward to seeing them on the defensive side of the ball. Starting point for the Black Knights today, I got to go with Noah Short. He was certainly the difference, an 81-yard touchdown run against UTSA. The senior, 6 foot, 195 pounds, out of San Jose, California, and out of the prep school, of course, a prep school product. On the season, 91 rushes, 552 yards, and a TD, 22 receptions, 279 yards, and a TD. For his career, over 1,100 yards rushing, over 800 yards receiving. Noah Short, the senior, he is the starting point today. He's got to start and finish for the Black Knights. Let's go back up to Joe.
And Tony, the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy online here today. We hear that the president is in the building. He'll be out there for the coin toss, I'm sure, and you'll see that up close.
Yeah, absolutely. He will be here. And by the way, offensive game captain today, also our starting point. That's Noah Short. We'll tell you all about it when I check back later on in the pregame here.
All right. Thank you, Tony. We're counting down closer and closer to kickoff, 27 minutes away from the start of Army-Navy. More to come on Black Knights Game Day. We'll hear from Jeff Monken. We'll also have a double player spotlight today, the inside linebacking duo of Andon Thomas and Caleb Fortner. It's the 126th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. More in a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football from Learfield.
What exactly does MCOR do? For healthcare facilities, we help keep patients and staff safe and comfortable. For data centers, we help the digital economy flow more reliably. For office buildings, we help make work environments secure, efficient, and compliant. In other words, for businesses and industries of every type, at MCOR, we build, power, service, and protect.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse boarding options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
Without mission integration.
Eagle 7, this is command.
Roger.
Evacuation is in
It's all just noise. Lockheed Martin connects the best of commercial and defense technologies to build innovations into solutions. Seamless, solid, secure.
Roger that. Mission understood. Target in sight.
Lockheed Martin, ensuring those we serve always stay ahead of ready.
Hey, Black Knights fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Army football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Army Black Knights. Let's go Black Knights! SeatGeek.
The holidays are here, and Black Rifle Coffee Company is bringing the boldest new roasts to close out the year strong. Other companies are bringing peppermint fluff, and BRCC is bringing epic roasts like the high-caffeine Wake and the Neighbors, the smooth and strong Beyond Black, and the new seasonal Atomic Llama Roast. Brew a cup and have your taste buds explode with brown sugar and cinnamon flavor. Veteran-founded, American-roasted, this is America's coffee. Perfect for brewing yourself or gifting for others. Shop now at Walmart, Target, Kroger, or blackriflecoffee.com.
For 130 years, the Exchange has been committed to improving the quality of life for service members and their families. Now, honorably discharged veterans can shop for life at shopmyexchange.com. No fees, no gimmicks, just tax-free savings and a way to stay connected to those who serve. And 100% of the Exchange's earnings support the military community. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
I'm Joe Beckerly. Welcome back to the 126th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. Black Knights Game Day is brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the fans. From Baltimore, Maryland, we are at M&T Bank Stadium, home of the NFL's Baltimore Ravens. Army enters today's rivalry matchup with a 6-5 record. Navy comes in with a 9-2 mark. This isn't the last game for either team. Both are bowl bound. Navy heading to the Liberty Bowl to face Cincinnati. Army will match up against UConn in the Fenway Bowl. And both teams have made their way back to the locker room, which means some skydivers should be coming in the building momentarily. Now time for our head coach interview. Jeff Monken joins us now. The interview with the head coach is brought to you by Aetna, proud sponsor of the Army Football Radio Network. You know, after being upset by Navy last year, Monken has been chomping at the bit to get another crack at the Mids. He's been waiting 1 day short of a full year for this moment. He spoke to Rich DeMarco about the chance for retribution finally arriving.
We have waited. Unfortunately, it's been an agonizing wait. They got the best of us a year ago. So we're just excited to have this opportunity to play in this great game, this great rivalry, and I hope we will play well.
You've had the off week. Last time you were on the field in San Antonio, big come-from-behind win at UTSA. What kind of confidence did that give this team, especially the way this group was able to come back after a disappointing loss the week before?
Showing the resiliency and the toughness, I think, really speaks to the heart of this team. This senior group, our leaders, that was a really tough football game down in San Antonio, and an excellent team, very skilled, well coached, difficult place to play, as has been proven over so many seasons under Coach Traylor and their unblemished conference records. So it was a big win. We needed it. Our backs were to the wall, and I'm so proud of our team and the way they played. And it should give us some confidence. I'm sure it has for our players, and knowing that they can fight through some adversity and getting behind and finding a way to come back and win the game.
Jeff, what most sticks in your mind from last year's Army-Navy game?
The play of the other team. Navy played a really great football game. They played tough, they played physical, they played hard, and our need to do that and to match that intensity and to match that effort, we're going to have to do a much better job this year than we did a year ago, and that's really been our emphasis, and that's my responsibility, is get this team to play that way.
Cale Helms getting set under center for his first Army-Navy game. What are your biggest concerns about Cale heading into what will be the biggest spotlight of his career?
He's a tough kid, and he's a great competitor. I think the most important thing is that we have a team that's playing as well as they can play, not just a quarterback that's playing as well as he can play, but everybody, his supporting cast, the guys on offense, guys on defense, the special teams. It's going to take a team effort, not just an individual effort by him. We're certainly going to need him to play well this game and probably every game. When a quarterback plays poorly, it's hard for a team to be successful. When a quarterback plays well, then I think the team certainly has a chance.
This Navy offense has garnered a lot of attention. What are the biggest things your team could learn from facing off against them last year and, of course, preparing for this game virtually every day of the last year?
They've got so many weapons, so many skilled players, starting with their quarterback, but Heidenreich, the slot, Teska, the running back, Chapman, the slot back, great speed receiver in Kent. Obviously a tough offensive line. They're leading the nation in rushing yards. So it's just a very impressive unit. We got to find a way to slow them down. Very few people, if any, have done that. Certainly haven't done it consistently. So we're going to have to try to do that on Saturday.
What would it mean to win this game and bring back that Commander-in-Chief's trophy?
That's everything to this program. It's the most important tangible goal that this program has, is to win the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. So I'm glad we got an opportunity to play for it. As I said, we're going to have to play really well. It'll mean a great deal to us if we're able to capture that trophy again.
Thanks, Jeff. It's been a great season so far. Good luck against Navy.
Thanks a lot. Beat Navy.
That's Army head coach Jeff Monken with Rich DeMarco. As on the field now, the midshipman and cadet prisoner exchange is going on. Right now we have a special dual player spotlight. Two guys who are both inside linebackers and have combined for over 160 tackles on the season. Andon Thomas from Liberty Hill, Texas, and Caleb Fortner from Knoxville, Tennessee. Both seniors, both spoke to RD about this game against Navy and the chance to win the CIC.
The next game is always the most important one, but, this game has been on our mind since last year, and really excited to get back out there and get a shot to beat those guys, and they've got a really good program, and it's going to be a great game. I'm really excited.
And for you, how much do you think about last year's game and another crack at it here in Baltimore?
Obviously, a tough loss last year, but, we got a new year, a new team. We're just focused on the next game, obviously, and that's Army-Navy, which carries more weight than the normal game, especially with the CIC on the line, so we're looking forward to it.
And for you, congratulations, second team American Conference. What has this year meant to you? You've been healthy and you've been able to make plays.
It's meant a lot. I wouldn't be in the spot I am without the guys, the other 10 guys in the field. If they're not doing their jobs, I can't make plays. And ultimately those guys up front, Jack Latour, Cody Harris-Miller, Jacob Teote, Jack Balsam, all those dudes up front, they've been playing really well, so that allows me and Caleb to kind of free up and make our plays.
Caleb, for you, I think a lot of college football fans first knew the name Caleb Fortner from the Army-Navy game a couple of years back, returning a fumble for a touchdown, MVP of the Army-Navy game. How special was that moment? And as a young player, maybe the confidence it gave you and how it maybe changed your trajectory with that performance?
Yeah, I think it gave me a lot of confidence, and it was just a really special moment, in the right place, right time in that game. And like Annan said, he wouldn't be as successful if it wasn't for the other 10 players on the field, and that was the same for me that year in that game in particular. But it did give me some confidence going into 24. I think myself, Andon, the rest of the guys had a really great year defensively that year. I think we were a top 10 defense, if I remember that correctly. And it's still the confidence I needed as a leader as well to step in and fill the shoes of the guys we had last year at captain, and it was just a great year.
Caleb, how special has this journey been? You have your twin brother, Liam, on the team. You've also been connected with Andon here at middle linebacker and as a co-captain. Those relationships as well as those among your firstie class, how special has this group been?
It's been very special. To start with my brother, it's so special to have him at this institution with me and then also in the locker room with me. And I look at him for advice and to watch him on offense, just absolutely manhandle those DBs and safeties, it's really special. And then, like the senior class as a whole, I don't think we could be closer. It's really fun to look back on, growing from the prep up and seeing us at the top of the food chain here now. It's really special. And, these guys are going to be great leaders in the Army one day, and very excited to follow them in their future.
And what has it been like playing with Caleb these past couple of years and having him as a co-captain?
It's been a blessing. Caleb's an absolute stud. I couldn't speak more highly of him to really anyone. I think what separates, us is our communication on the field and off the field. As captains, you got to be on the same page all the time, right? And, I think he's done a great job as a leader, being really vocal. And on the field, he makes plays. Everybody sees that. So it's been a blessing playing beside him.
Last question for both of you. I'll start with you, Caleb. How do you balance opportunity along with maybe younger players feeling pressure coming into an Army-Navy game?
I think the biggest thing, some of our younger guys that haven't played in these games before have to understand is it's just another game. It's just another time you're going to lace up the cleats with your buddies in the locker room and go out there and play as hard as you can. You don't have to make it out to be more than what it is. Like Anna said earlier, there's a lot of weight to this game, but, it's just another football game, and you got to treat it as such. And, it comes down to the fundamentals and technique at your job and winning your one-on-ones.
And Andon, what's the best advice you could give to young players on this team?
Kind of similar to our message against Air Force. The emotion's going to be there, obviously, against another academy, but you can't let emotion get in the way of executing, right? The way we're going to win this game is by executing, like Caleb said. The fundamentals, winning your one-on-ones, blocking, getting off blocks, taking care of the ball. As long as you do that, hopefully we'll be able to pull out with a victory.
And it's been an amazing 4 years. Thanks so much for the journey.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Caleb, for you, it's been great being able to get to know you and this whole team. Best of luck against Navy.
Thank you, sir. Be Navy.
That's Rich DeMarco with the linebacking duo, the inside linebacking duo of Andon Thomas and Caleb Fortner. Thomas needs just 4 more tackles to join the exclusive club of players with more than 100 tackles in a season. Fortner has already joined the elite club of players in the Monken era to have over 200 career tackles. And don't forget, as Rich mentioned, the Army-Navy MVP 2 years ago and the Independence Bowl defensive MVP last year. Both players need to have big career gains today to keep Navy's offense in check if the Black Knights want to earn back the CIC trophy. DirecTV and Dean Darling have the keys to today's game. And Dean, I guess 1, 2, and 3, stop Blake Horvath, stop Blake Horvath, stop Blake Horvath.
We're going to start on the Army offensive side, and you got to score touchdowns in the red zone. That's a must today. Got to convert on short yardage plays, and again on offense, they got to avoid the negative yardage plays. Defensively today for Army, their linebackers and secondary will have to secure tackles against the aforementioned Horvath. And when you look at Navy today, capitalize on big plays. Joe, Navy has had 13 plays of 50 yards plus this year. And defensively, force Army's quarterback Cale Helms to throw the ball by limiting Army's success on first and second downs.
Those were the keys to the game, presented by DirecTV, a proud partner of Army Athletics. Stream the Black Knights satellite free on DirecTV. Parachuters are coming into the stadium right now. You can hear the sounds of the crowd in the background. I'm Joe Beckerly. When we come back, Rich, Dean, and Tony will take you up to kickoff. I'll also be back for the halftime and the postgame shows. It's America's game, Army and Navy, for the 126th time, and it's presented by USAA. Will Navy beat Army for the second straight year? Will the Black Knights win back the Commander-in-Chief's trophy? We'll find out next. Enjoy the first half, everyone. You're listening to Black Knights College Football on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
FW Webb for plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, pipe, valves, fittings, and more. FW Webb supports all customers from one-van contractors to large facility operators. For planned projects, emergency jobs, or maintenance, FW Webb has what you need, when and where you need it. With extensive inventory, personalized service, over 100 locations, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast, visit fwweb.com for a location near you.
Game-changing moments don't happen by chance. They require vision, innovation, and relentless drive. At Amentum, we deliver advanced engineering and technology solutions that power missions on the ground, in the air, and far beyond the horizon. From space exploration to modern defense, our expertise pushes the limits, because the future won't wait. Amentum, advancing the future together. Learn more at Amentum.com. Amentum, advancing the future together.
To those dedicated to defending our country, we recognize and appreciate your service. The General Motors Military Appreciation Program is the official automotive sponsor of Army West Point Athletics, and we're proud to honor all active U.S. military members, veterans, and retirees with a special offer on eligible new Chevrolet vehicles. It's our way of saying thank you for everything you do. Visit gmmilitaryappreciation.com to learn more.
Attention, Department of War and Coast Guard civilians with a Common Access Card. You are eligible to shop your military exchanges in-store and online. Your CAC is the key to unlocking your savings benefit. Tax-free shopping with military-exclusive pricing and credit options. 100% of exchange earnings go back to improve military community quality of life programs. The Exchange, it matters where you shop. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to learn more.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Hey, college football fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fans section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is America's game.
Good snap. Ball is down. The kick is up, and it is no good. No good. He missed it to the left. Army has won the ball game. The Black Knights have defeated Navy.
On the Army Sports Network.
14 years of frustration come to an end in Baltimore.
From Learfield.
The Black Knights were first to the fight, and an historic performance by the Black Knights defense.
This is Army Black Knights football. Brought to you by FW Webb, proud sponsor of Army West Point Athletics. Brought to you by the General Motors Military Appreciation Program. Save on Chevrolet vehicles today. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of Army West Point Athletics. Find tickets to Black Knights games and more.
Touchdown, Army!
It's been a tradition since 1890. The Army Black Knights versus the Navy Shipmen.
Black Knights are going to defeat Navy for the third straight year.
Live from Northwest Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Now turn it up. It's game time. Here's the voice of the Black Knights, Rich DeMarco.
And welcome back to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Throughout the Hudson Valley, across the nation, and around the world, the Army Black Knights are on the air. Today, it's the biggest game of the year, Army and Navy, for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy before a sold-out crowd. Right now, let's go down to the field. The colors being presented and the combined glee clubs of West Point and the Naval Academy for today's national anthem.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, strong to save, we gather as one people, rooted in many traditions, yet united by our common resolve. As these cadets and midshipmen take the field, we honor the bond they share. Fierce competitors today, yet lifelong teammates in service to our homeland and the Constitution they have sworn to defend. Forge in them and all those they represent unwavering integrity, unyielding grit, and steadfast courage in the face of adversity. May their efforts today and the values they embody inspire us, a watching nation, to follow their example in answering the deeper call to serve something greater than ourselves, and to let that purpose compel us to shape a future worthy of the generations yet to come. Bless the families who formed them, the mentors who guide them, and everyone who stands watch in defense of freedom around the world. Amen.
And now President Trump making his way out to the 25-yard line. He will turn toward the crowd as the Glee Clubs about to sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and the bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red red upon bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
A beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Fireworks going off above the floodlights here at a sold-out M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. We are moments away from Army and Navy for the 126th time. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
920 WGHQ Kingston, 1260 WBNR Beacon, and 1420 WLNA Peekskill. This is the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Rich DeMarco, Dean Darling, Joe Beckerly, and Tony Marino back at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Army and Navy time now for the scouting report. And look at the midshipmen. Go back to Dean Darling.
And Rich, they are 9-2 in the season. Third-year head coach Brian Newberry gives us a overall view of their season.
It's been good. It's been frustrating. You look at the record and you think, hey, we're 9-2. It's been a great year. And it has been. It's been a good year. But there's been frustration along the way. I think for me, it's not about winning. It's how we win games. Are we playing to our potential? And I think for a large part of the year, we didn't do that. Now, there's reasons for that. A lot of young players, especially on the defensive side of the football. But I think we've made progress as we've gone. I think we've played at a high level the last two times out, as I was really pleased with. I think we're playing much better defensively. I think we're peaking at the right time. So really proud of what we've done. We've got great senior leadership. This group is maybe the most consistent group I've ever been around as far as the way they show up every day to go to work, regardless of what happened the previous week, and their ability to keep the blinders on and kind of drown out the noise and continue to grow and get better.
Quarterback Blake Horvath leads the Middies with a 19-4 starting record, and he is the first Navy quarterback in their history to have over 1,000 yards running and passing in back-to-back seasons. Running back is Alex Teska, second leading rusher on the team, 772 yards, 9 touchdowns, while their snipe back is Eli Heidenreich. He leads them with 40 catches, an average of 20 per catch, and he made the second-team American Conference. And at the other snipe position, Brandon Chapman, fifth leading rusher, and he also has 16 catches. Their two key wide receivers, Nathan Kent, he's a flat-out burner, and converted quarterback Luke Hutchison. Defensively, their anchor is their nose tackle, Landon Robinson, Defensive Player of the Year in the American Conference. Last year he had 13 tackles against Army, also ran a fake punt for 29 yards. Outside linebacker is Luke Pierce. He's third on the team in tackles with 72 hits, while the middle linebacker, sophomore Mark Anthony Parker, leads him with 88 tackles. And in the secondary, Philip Hamilton, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble forces to his credit. Special teams level, you got a sophomore punter in Jacob Carlson. He's averaging almost 45 yards a punt. 33% of those have gone for 50-plus. So that's a look at Navy, who already beat Air Force back in October, 34-31 to set up today's showdown in Baltimore.
And we talk a lot about the seniors, the first-classmen. There's some underclassmen who could play a big role in this game. The Army offensive line, a key position group, junior center Brady Small. He was a first-team American Conference selection. He's had this state circled.
I've been thinking about this game ever since the last time we played last year. Obviously, the loss last year was one of the worst feelings I ever felt. And, we're just excited for the opportunity to change that this year.
And another player who could be called upon, sophomore wide receiver Brady Anderson, who burst onto the scene in the season opener. And for him, this has been quite a year.
I'd say my confidence about myself has been pretty consistent, but it definitely has grown as I've gotten more used to just that college football speed, understanding our playbook more throughout the season. Just knowing what you're doing definitely helps myself grow my confidence throughout the season.
And that Army offense, it's going to be key for them to move the football against this Navy defense this afternoon. The captains are lined up. The Commander-in-Chief is here, as well as the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. Let's go down to the field. Tony Marino with all the coverage of today's coin toss.
Thanks a lot, Rich. No doubt, Army captains, as you mentioned, Caleb Fortner, Andon Thomas, the walk to midfield here for what is of the most ceremonial coin tosses. Another flyover as the choppers from the U.S. Army. You can hear the roar of the choppers, the roar of the crowd, as now the captains head to midfield. Game day captains today: Noah Short, Casey Larkin on defense, and moments ago when the Black Knights took the field, it was Caleb Fortner who carried out that black flag. The referee for today's game, it is an American Conference crew, as both teams do hail from the American Conference, and the referee is Tim Rich. He, along with the President of the United States, Donald Trump, will handle the coin toss for today's contest. Let's turn it over to the official, Tim Rich.
Captains and everyone in attendance, welcome to Baltimore for the Army-Navy football game. This is your umpire, Anthony Gibson. My name is Tim Rich, and it's our crew's honor to be working this game today with you all. Joining me for the coin toss, it is my honor and privilege to introduce the Commander-in-Chief, our President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, thank you for your leadership and your continued support of our service members and our veterans. It's an honor to have you here today. To the men and women who wear the uniform, to all of our veterans and their family members, thank you for your service. Thank you for protecting this great country. And thank you for protecting the freedoms that we enjoy each and every day. To the cadets, the midshipmen, and everyone watching around the world, this is the 126th plane of America's game. The coin today we will be tossing features the Army-Navy logo, which will be a head. The battle monument, which is a tail. Army, what is your call?
Tails.
Tails has been called. Mr. President, would you do the honor? It is tails. Army, you've won the toss. Which way would you like to kick?
Kicking that way.
Please rotate around. Army has won the toss.
So there you go.
And
Andon Thomas the call. Army wins the toss. And of course, why wouldn't they defer? They will kick off left to right. I believe, no, make that right to left of you on the radio dial. And now for the call of the game. Army, Navy. Here's Rich DeMarco and Dean Darling.
I'll tell you what, Tim Rich in that coin toss off the cuff, he's got a future in the booth.
He does.
I think Dean Darling, game 12, right? I don't think either team's 100%, but injury report, let's see where these teams sit right now.
It actually isn't all that bad, Rich, when you look at it, considering it is game 12. The injury report on Army, it is a big loss, so at running back. Briggs Bartosh is out for this game. Questionable Matt Gemma and DeShantes Gray. However, we think they will get some reps in the game. And out for Navy, they lost their tight end during the middle of the season, Cody Howard. That's a big loss for them. Everybody else seems to be okay. So, again, here we are, final kind of regular season game of the year, and Army out with one so-called starter, and Navy out with one so-called starter.
So for Army, Black Knights deferring. That puts this dangerous Navy offense on the field first. So we've got all the matchups covered in this game, and really it's a fascinating matchup between Army and Navy. The Mid's high-powered, as we like to say, ensemble offense spread between three equally talented offensive weapons against an Army defense that feels like they got a score to settle after last year and the way they've improved this year. When we see the Army offense, and Dean, I think that's where this game's going to be won, the ability of the Army offensive line and the Army offense to move the football against Navy, because if you go back to last year's game, Navy got a bunch of breaks. The Army defense didn't play terribly. The Army offense just couldn't move the football.
No, and they turned the ball over on 3 interceptions in that game, which was uncharacteristic of them, and they got behind early in the ball game and just had a fight uphill. The game really wasn't won until late in the third quarter. So look for Army to come out. You know, there's no tomorrow as far as this game, especially when you look at the seniors. And I'm glad we had those guys on during the pregame part with Fortner and Thomas, and they have given their soul to Army football. Be a good way for them to go out. Army's senior class 2-1 against the Middies in their career coming into this game.
Fortner Thomas really connected at the hip the past couple of years along this Army defense. Anderson Britton, the senior, will tee it up, and he missed the opportunity in last year's Army-Navy game after going out with an injury early in the season. Back deep, Isaiah Bryant and Jaden Jones. We are just about set to go. Britton advancing on the football, and we are underway. A floating kickoff, though, carries 2 yards deep into the end zone and will rest there past Isaiah Bryant for a touchback. We will see this Navy offense to begin this game. Blake Horvath, the senior from Hilliard, Ohio, has run for 1,000 yards. He's passed for 1,000 yards here in 2025. Across the offensive line, Sean Crowley, Ben Purvis along the left side, Cam Nichols, all three very veteran on the right side. Jake Polito may get the start ahead of Hoke Smith. We'll have to watch that. And Malcolm Johnson, the right tackle. Eli Heidenreich is the snipe. Nathan Kemp, the wide receiver. And Alex Teska, the dangerous fullback. Horvath out of the shotgun, first play of the game. Hand off Teska, running right, cuts back 30-yard line, and then tripped up at the 32. Casey Larkin comes up to make the stop. A gain of 7. That'll be 2nd down and 3. Larkin back deep along with Colin Madison, who's had a terrific senior year. Jaden Mays and now healthy Justin Weaver are the corners. Jack Latour, Cody Harris-Miller, DeShantes Gray across the defensive line. Eric Ford, Gavin Shields on the outside. Andon Thomas, Caleb Fortner, the co-captains, patrol the inside linebacking spot. 2nd down, we'll call it 3 for Navy from its own 32. The Mids check out now into a 2 receiver right, 1 receiver left formation. Man in motion left to right. Fake handoff. Horvath going to run it. Runs right's got the first down. Turns the corner, 40-yard line, and pushed out across the 45-yard line by Justin Weaver. He's out at the 46. That's a 14-yard gain on 2nd down, and Navy's got it cooking with the ball near midfield and a 1st down.
Yeah, a couple good offensive calls. Nice run there by Horvath. He gets through that hole. He skinnies himself through those holes. When he gets to the 2nd level, he's shifty. He's got good speed, good vision.
Opening drive of the game, just over 1 minute gone by. Army and Navy. Mids with a 1st and 10 from their own 46 from the near hash. A pitch right side and nowhere to go for Teska. And coming up, pile driving him into the ground. The co-captain, Caleb Fortner, playing in his final Army-Navy game. So not much going on for Teska. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 46.
And Fortner had something to say to the Navy bench where he made the tackle. 36 career start today, leads the team in tackles for losses, and the number 2 tackler on the team. A lot of pressure on he and Thomas here today.
2nd down and 10 for Navy from its own 46-yard line. Black Knights not bringing too many into the box, at least early. Navy checks out from under center into the shotgun. Teska to the left of Horvath. 2 receivers and on the play, a man in motion left to right. Horvath runs left and runs into a wall of Black Knights as Cody Harris-Miller was there to make the stop, and he was helped out along that defensive line by Dylan Stowers getting on the field this opening drive of the game. It'll be 3rd down and long. We'll call it 3rd and 8 from the Navy 48.
And the defensive wall really did a good job. Dylan Stowers, a junior out of Lynchburg, Virginia, was really the key maker in that. As you said, Cody Harris-Miller. Need a full effort today from Cody Harris-Miller. Got hurt in this game a year ago. It really hurt Army.
Jack Bowsam, the Annapolis native, in at left end here on 3rd down and 8 for Navy from their own 48. Trips to the left, 1 receiver right. Here's a screen pass to the receiver. That's Heidenreich, cuts back 45-yard line. It's got the 1st down, and then Fortner makes the tackle down at the Army 41-yard line. So an 11-yard gain on 3rd down and 8. Navy converts. First time we've said Eli Heidenreich's name this afternoon.
41st catch of the year. He usually averages about 20 yards a catch. He ran a quick in over the middle, eluded a couple tacklers. He got racked up pretty good, but he still got the 1st down.
Caleb Fortner, some big hits on this drive for Army, this opening drive of the game. 1st and 10 for Navy from the Army 41. From the left hash, man in motion left to right. That's Heidenreich, fake handoff to him, and here's Horvath, cuts back on Latour, and then Larkin comes up to make the tackle inside the 40, and he's down at the 37. That's a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 from the Army 37-yard line. Opening drive of the game, down to 11.5 left in this opening quarter. Army and Navy scoreless.
Horvath, the co-MVP of last year's game, he accounted for 4 touchdowns, 2 with his arm, 2 with his legs. He was a big factor in the 31-13 win over Army.
Navy, a lot of shifting. We'll see that eye wash, as you like to call it, Dean, before a lot of their snaps. Horvath under center here with Teska, the deep back. 1 receiver right, man in motion. Handoff Teska. Runs left, hit by Fortner at the 35, and then driven back again. Fortner got at the legs at Teska. Not much room there. Picks up 3. Stowers helped out as well. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Fortner loves to play against Navy, that's for sure. Last year, leading tackler in the game with 8, the MVP of the game up in Foxborough 2 years ago, and so far so good for him. He's been active on his opening drive by Navy.
2nd, 3rd down for Navy on this opening drive. The Mids converted on a 3rd and 8 a couple of moments ago. This will be 3rd and 3. Could be 4 down territory from the Army 34-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 back to the left of Horvath. Fakes the handoff, runs left. Fortner, he gets by to the 30-yard line. He's got the 1st down, then a run down by Larkin from behind. The ball came out of the pile with it. Jaden Mays, the officials rule that Horvath was down.
By rule before the ball came loose.
And he picked up the 1st down, converted on the 3rd and 3. It'll be a 1st and 10 for Navy at the 25-yard line. Thomas had a crack at him, and Horvath was able to slip by. They had the backup quarterback, Braxton Woodson, on the field on that play, and the fake handoff went to him, and Horvath was able to convert the 3rd down. It's 1st and 10 for Navy at the Army 25 here on the opening drive of the game. 2 receivers right and 1 left out of the shotgun, and Horvath keeps it, runs into a wall, and just pushing, and in a pile picks up 2, maybe 3 yards, down to about the 23-yard line, being pulled off the pile. Looked like it was Stowers who came in there and made the stop. He's seeing a lot of snaps on this opening drive. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Rich, in your play-by-play call, you said slips by, and that's what Horvath is. He's slippery when he gets into that 2nd level. It's hard to get a hard hit on him. He's moving laterally a lot of times, and then he explodes into the hole. Very good quarterback. 2nd
and 7 for Navy from the Army 22. The Mids now check into a tighter formation. 2 receivers right. Heidenreich in motion. Here's the pitch. Eli Heidenreich, 25-yard line, cuts back, spins away, penalty flag. This is going to come back. Heidenreich goes down at the Army 13-yard line. There was a hold on one of the crackback blocks to help him turn the corner. So this 1st down inside the Army 15 is going to come all the way back.
That'll be our first penalty of the day. That could be a costly one. for Navy. Even though Army pursued the ball well defensively, they've got to accept this penalty.
It was the receiver that...
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is a first down.
So the tackle on the outside, which looked like the defender got turned around, and the block was in the back. That's tough right there. Army thought that play. I thought that play was coming back. Now we have a 1st and 10 for Navy from the Army 13-yard line. Opening drive of the game. We're down to 8:35 left in this opening quarter. Horvath. Short drop, then it's going to run right. It's pushed out of bounds by Thomas and Madison right at the 10-yard line. That's a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down. We'll call it 7 from the Army 10-yard line.
So they tried to give Army some dirty eyes right there. They sent Heidenreich off to the left in motion. He picks up a lot of people defensively, and then they came back to the inside run with Horvath, but Army cut off the corner. Really nice job defensively.
Joshua Guerin lined up at 1 wide receiver out to the left side. Nathan Kent to the other. Horvath out of the gun. 2nd and 7 from the Army 10. 1 back in the backfield, man in motion. Horvath keeps it straight ahead, has a block, is flipped over near the 5-yard line. He'll be short of the first down. Coming over, Casey Larkin helped make the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 2 from the Army 5. Eric Ford comes back on. Noah Nixon had seen some run on this possession as Colin Madison helped make that tackle.
Yeah, it was Madison that made the tackle, did a really nice job, and what a year he has had, the senior out of Kansas, and he's only missed the 1 game because of injury. So he and Larkin, a lot of pressure on them today, the 2 safeties.
Navy 2 for 2 on 3rd downs on this drive. A 3rd and 2 from the Army 5. Tight formation for the Midshipmen. Horvath runs right, cuts back to the 3, on his feet in the end zone. Touchdown Navy. Blake Horvath bouncing off defenders, slips into the end zone from 5 yards out, and the Midshipmen are on the board with 7 minutes and 16 seconds to play in this opening quarter. They drive 75 yards for the first points of the game.
And the key is that they converted on 3rd down throughout that drive and didn't have any really big plays, but they had a lot of just good, hard runs. Didn't put the ball in the air, and now they take the initial lead.
Nathan Kirkwood on to attempt the extra point. He's 46 out of 46 this season, and you can make it 47 out of 47. A very workman-like Navy drive down the field, 75 yards. We saw a little Teska, a little bit of Heidenreich, and Blake Horvath finishes off the march with a 5-yard touchdown run, his 15th of the season, and Navy has the 7-0 lead over Army. We will be back with more from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore in just a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Serving your country is a full-time commitment. That's why Chevrolet is honored to support those who serve with an inclusive military offer. Through the Chevrolet Military Discount, eligible military personnel can receive special offers on vehicles, OnStar services, and Sirius XM packages. It's a small gesture of our gratitude for those who've given so much. Visit ChevySalutes.com for more details.
USAA was founded 100 years ago by military members promising to always have each other's backs. And while we've grown to offer insurance and more to over 14 million members, USAA's service still sets the standard. That's what our community, the military, and their families deserve. And now they know we take care of our own. USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Learn more at USAA.com.
Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Welcome back, along with Dean Darling, Joe Beckerly, sideline reporter Tony Marino. I'm Rich DeMarco. You're listening to the Army-Navy game across the Army Sports Network from Learfield, brought to you by USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. And the Mids go 75 yards to take the lead, 7-0, taking up more than half of this opening quarter. And Dean Darling, that drive was simply Navy doing what it does best.
Yeah, and I was mistaken before. I said it was all runs, but they had that one pass, and that was a key pass on a 3rd and 8. as they got into Heidenreich. So we bring you now the MCOR scoring drive summary as Navy goes 3 for 3 on third downs on a 13-play, 75-yard drive. As Rich said, 7:44 in time of possession, and a 5-yard touchdown run by Horvath, 15th of the year, extra point good. Navy takes the initial lead in this one, 7-0. MCOR proud partner of Army West Point Athletics, but that was just typical Navy, just grinding out that drive. Again, 12 run plays, 1 pass play, and they're on the board early, and that's got to give them a boost.
It'll be Lance Gossett, the junior from Louisville, Kentucky, kicking it away for Navy. Black Knights will get their hands on the football for the first time here today. Lloyd Benson back deep along with Samari Howard. And Army's watched more than half of this first quarter wiped away. Gossett advancing on the football, and it's a sky kick. Fair catch called for, made by Benson near sideline at the 13-yard line. So Navy trying a little bit of trickery, and Rendina getting into it after the play with Navy's special teamer Gavin Noe, the tight end, and it'll be Army at the controls for the first time today. Cale Helms in his first Army-Navy game is settled into the Army starting quarterback spot. Jake Rendina gets the start at fullback. It's Aiden Self at slot. Parker Pulaski at tight end on the left side. Noah Short along with Brady Anderson, the wide receivers. So a different set to start this game. Helms play fake. He's going to throw on first down. Looking, now he's going to run with it. 25-yard line out near the 28. And he's spun down by a couple of defenders, including Landon Robinson and Coleman Cawley. Along the Army offensive line, Henry Appleton, Will Jeffcoat, Brady Small, Paulo Generali comes back after missing a couple of games, and Teddy Williams. That defensive line of Navy, Landon Robinson, the American Conference Defensive Player of the Year, along with Julian Mudame and Griffin Willis. Jackson Campbell, Coleman Cawley, Mark Anthony Parker, Luke Pierce are the linebackers. Nick Bell, Justin Ross, the corners. Giuseppe Sessi and Philip Hamilton are the safety. 2nd and 7 for Army from its own 28. Here's a handoff. Samari Howard as the running back in the backfield. Spins away from a defender across the 30 up the middle of the field and goes down at about the 31. We'll give him 3 yards on the play. Tackled by Maxwell Williams, and it'll set up right off the bat, Dean Darling, a 3rd down, 3rd and 4 for the Black Knights.
That's one of the game keys, converting on short yardage situations, and Army really in a very important position right here in the game. Down already 7-0, and a 3rd and kind of long situation.
2 receivers out to the left side, and Helms checks out from under center into the shotgun with Howard to his left. Helms, arms extended, short in motion behind the formation. Cale's going to run it left, bounces it outside, has the first down, 35-yard line to the 40, in the clear at the 50, run down from behind in Navy territory at the Midshipmen 43-yard line. That is a 26-yard jaunt for Cale Helms, finally caught up to by Sessi, and Army's in business in Navy territory.
And again, a decoy that time was short, going from left to right, and they went to the left. They got a good lead block there on the left tackle, and then obviously the rest was done by Helms. We've seen him do that a couple times, get the second level, turn on the speed a little bit.
This Army offensive line, that matchup so important in this game. Rendina, the deep back, a tight formation on first down. Helms gives to Rendina, bounces off one defender, stood up by another, and then flipped over and brought down by Coleman Cawley inside the Navy 40-yard line at about the 39. That's a pickup of 4 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 6 as we go under 5 minutes remaining in this opening quarter.
This reminds me so much of last year's game. Remember, Navy opened the game. They went right down the field, and Horvath got in on a 1-yard touchdown on the opening possession. And then Army had their opportunity. Army comes back with a big play on a 3rd down as Helms gets his team into Navy territory, plus territory already.
2nd and 6 for the Black Knights from the Navy 39. Midshipmen on top, 7-0. Army checks into 2 receivers right and 1 left. Very spread out formation with Helms out of the shotgun. Is going to keep it, hit in the backfield and spun down. A gain of maybe 1 yard, popping through to make the play. Julian Mudame, the sophomore from Windsor Mill, Maryland, one of several freshmen and sophomores across this Navy defense. And it'll be a 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Black Knights.
Mudame's not big. He's 6'3", 263, but his speed, his lateral speed, starter in all 11 games this year, and he showed that time. He just beat everybody to the quarterback.
Army moving right to left on the right hash here, a 3rd and 5 from the Navy 38-yard line. 2 receivers to the short side. Quick throw caught. Brady Anderson, far side. First down, pushed out of bounds at the Navy 31. So Brady Anderson, the sophomore, who really burst onto the scene this year, comes up with his first catch in an Army-Navy game. Justin Ross pushed him out, and he's become that go-to Casey Reynolds type receiver from a year ago.
Yeah, they list him at 6'2". He looks bigger than that in the uniform. He runs the quick out. That's a timing pattern. Right on the money was Helms. Good to get that first throw out of the way and a completion.
So Army converts its second 3rd down of this drive. 1st and 10 from the Navy 31. Short the receiver to the right side. Helms going to run it lead right and had a stumble over one of his offensive linemen. That was Paulo Generelli, who went down to the ground, able to pick up a couple down to right around the 30-yard line. They'll give him 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9. Luke Pierce came up with the tackle.
Yeah, Generelli got snowplowed, and then he's laying at the feet of Helms, and he was trying to step over him, and by that time, too many hats to the ball.
2:50 left opening quarter, a very fast-moving opening quarter. Navy leading Army 7-0. Black Knights check out from under center into the shotgun. 2 receivers left and 1 right, including one of the fullbacks. Here's Helms running straight ahead, pounds into the line at the 25-yard line, and his forward progress stopped there about 3 yards short of the first down. Campbell made the tackle. Army had Hayden Reed that time, lined up as a receiver coming in motion. He's moved back to slot back from running back. It'll be a third down on this drive. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Black Knights from the Navy 25.
And isn't it interesting that Army hasn't gotten the ball to the playmaker? Noah Short. They're using him a lot as disguise. We'll see if he gets involved here as they get into that red zone area.
Self lines up as a slot. Now Liam Fortner, a receiver to the right side. Noah Short, a slot behind the formation. Pitch Noah Short, cuts back 25-yard line in a crowd, able to dive forward. He's going to be close to a first down, though gets a spot actually closer to the 23-yard line. This is going to be 4th and a long one, closer to 2. Griffin Willis makes the tackle, and the first big decision for Jeff Monken in this game, and it looks like no decision. He'll leave the offense on the field.
Yeah, we'll see how they go. Will they go with the push-tush? Will they get Rendina behind the quarterback? And they will.
And they got Rendina behind him, though he's not right up on him. And Helms will check out into the shotgun. 2 receivers right. Rendina to the right of Helms. 4th and 2 for Army from the 23. They run it with Kale. Cuts back, able to spin forward near the first down marker. And it's going to be very, very close. Navy signaling they stopped him. I think he might have gotten there.
Navy said that they had the football, but he was already down.
And he got down to the 21. Will they measure? It's a first down. And Army converts on the 4th down. Hamilton made the tackle, and Helms was just spinning, was able to, on his back, place the ball in first down territory before his backside hit the ground, and Army converts on the 4th down.
So they went condensed to shotgun. They ran off of that, and Helms got the first down, and almost the same play now.
Army will check into the gun here. 1st and 10 from the Navy 21. 1 receiver left. Handoff Samari Howard running left, looking to turn the corner. 20-yard line, a stiff arm, and then it's flipped over. That was a nice play by Jackson Campbell. A penalty flag comes in late. There could have been a face mask as Samari Howard tried the stiff arm. I wonder who the face mask might be against, and it was against Campbell. Army's going to end up with a 1st and goal.
It's against Caldwell, and he reached in with his right hand because, well, let's pick up the call.
Face mask, defense number 14. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line with an automatic first down.
Jackson Campbell, who has supplanted Kenneth McShann as that starter at outside linebacker, Dean, looked like a good play sticking with the runner, Samari Howard, but he had a little help with the face mask to take him down.
And you know what Samari did well? He kept it alive. He strung that run out as long as he could, and that's the reason for the infraction.
So the ball placed just inside the Navy 10-yard line. 1st and goal for Army from the Navy 10, from the left hash. 2 receivers right. Helms out of the shotgun. Dropping back to throw, looking, now going to run with it to the 5-yard line, spins at the 2, churning toward the goal line and stopped right at the 1-yard line. Helms, a 9-yard gain on first down. Coleman Cawley made the touchdown-saving tackle, and the Black Knights just 1 yard away from tying this one up as we reach the end of the opening quarter. How about that? Action-packed and Army on the doorstep as we set to begin quarter number 2. We're now joined by Rob Bragg, Senior Vice President with the USAA, most importantly, a graduate of West Point. USAA, financial services organization that's been serving the military community and their families for more than 100 years, is the presenting sponsor of the Army-Navy game. Rob, great to have you join us today.
So glad to be here, Rich.
You've been to this game countless times as a cadet, alumni, now more than a few times on behalf of USAA. What is it that you look forward to most each year?
Well, first of all, I look forward to beating Navy. First and foremost, beat Navy, beat them bad. But outside of that, it's really a chance for USA to show up in support of our nation. Think about all the people in the stands, playing on the field, best of the brightest, right? And they're here to support our country, defend the country. And so seeing them makes me feel really good. Beat Navy, I feel even better.
Please tell our listeners, Rob, why USAA is such a strong supporter of the Army-Navy game and the United States Military Academy.
Well, our mission is to facilitate the financial security of our members. And one of the things we try to do is make sure that we showcase how we do that and where we do that. And the Army-Navy game is a great place to do it because everyone's watching. And so when you think about what we show them is we show them, A, we care about the military, and B, we show them how great the military actually is.
This is one of the great sporting events every single year. What do you think sets Army-Navy apart from other college football games?
It's why they play the game. No one's here for NIL. There's no transfer portal. They're only here to support the country and do their best. Love it.
Rob, I love seeing you every year. I look forward to it every single year doing this interview.
Me too, Rich. Be Navy.
That's Rob Braggs, USAA Senior Vice President, West Point graduate, joining our broadcast today. USAA is the presenting sponsor of the Army-Navy game. At the end of one quarter, it's Navy 7, Army nothing. It'll be second and goal for Army from the Navy 2 when we begin quarter number 2. Back in just a moment right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
This holiday season, experience the gift of luxury at the all-new GMC Bedford Hills, where new ownership means a fresh start and exceptional year-end offers. From the rugged Sierra to the refined Yukon, find the perfect GMC for wherever the road takes you this winter. Enjoy exclusive holiday incentives, first-class service, and a premium showroom experience. Make your move before the year ends and discover why more drivers are celebrating the season at GMC Bedford Hills. Visit them on Bedford Road or anytime at GMCBedfordHills.com.
If you're looking for a job that makes a real difference, connect with Abilities First. They're hiring in Dutchess and Orange County. Abilities First supports individuals with special needs, from preschoolers to adults, helping them thrive all the way. If you're compassionate, patient, and love helping others, they want to meet you. Even if you have no experience, it's not a problem. They have entry-level positions with real pathways to grow into leadership. At Abilities First, inclusion isn't just a goal, it's their mission. Make your work meaningful. Apply today online at abilitiesfirstny.org. Abilities First, where ability meets opportunity. You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Tony Marino back with you. M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland, the site of Army and Navy. The Mids with a 7-0 lead. Army knocking on the door. Second and goal from the 2-yard line. Upcoming. Oh, the Black Knights. This sideline, guys, it's so packed on the sideline. I'm actually in the middle of the team sideline. The energy here, it's always great at Army-Navy, right? When you're inside and you hear these players, there's hungry guys out there. Right now, perhaps the hungriest is Cale Helms. He's been a stud so far on this drive for the Black Knights. Let's go back up to Rich.
And Army begins this second quarter on the doorstep of the Navy end zone. The ball spotted just inside the 2-yard line. It's officially a second and goal for the Black Knights from that Navy 2, and Army churning down the field. Dean Darling, you and I talking about in the break, it's a 1-yard run, arguably the biggest play on this drive.
Yeah, and then a personal foul on top of that puts Army deep into Navy country.
Tight formation for Army. Second down and goal inside the Navy 2. Rendina behind Helms. Cale keeps it, runs right, hits the goal line. Touchdown, Army! Cale Helms finds the end zone in his first Army-Navy game, and that gets the Cadets and the Black Knights fired up. The Black Knights an extra point away from tying this game up 5 seconds into the second quarter.
Got a great block over on the right-hand side as Gennarelli did a great job getting into the second level, picked up on a linebacker, pushed him into the end zone for the score.
And coming on to attempt the extra point, Dawson Jones, the sophomore, 29 of 29 on the year. Army comes out of that split formation looking for a potential way they could fake and go for two. Now checking into the conventional PAT formation with Jones getting ready. Owen Walter will snap it. Cooper Allen will hold it. Allen looks back to Jones. High snap. Ball is down. The extra point attempt is up, and that PAT is good. With that extra point, Amentum will donate $100 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That point you could credit to Cooper Allen. Looked like he was a little surprised by that high snap. Got it down, and Jones's kick was true. Army has tied it up 7-7 against Navy, 14:55 left in this second quarter. We'll have more from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore coming up in just a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
For 130 years, the Exchange has been committed to improving the quality of life for service members and their families. Now, honorably discharged veterans can shop for life at shopmyexchange.com. No fees, no gimmicks, just tax-free savings and a way to stay connected to those who serve. And 100% of the Exchange's earnings support the military community. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
If you wear a military uniform today, hung it up years ago, or grew up watching a loved one put it on, you could be part of our community at USAA. Those who served and joined, their spouses, kids, and then grandkids. Founded by military members over 100 years ago, we're still taking care of our own. USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Become a member today at usaa.com/join.
Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Welcome back, along with Dean Darling, Joe Beckerly, and sideline reporter Tony Marino. I'm Rich DeMarco. You're listening to the Army-Navy game across the Army Sports Network from Learfield, brought to you by USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Black Knights took it 75 yards themselves and used up almost as much time as Navy did. We got a new ball game, 7-7, 14:55 left in this second quarter.
I tell you what, this drive was almost identical to Navy's drive. 13 plays, 75 yards, same as Navy, and almost the same type of time, 7:44 for Navy, 7:21 for Army. And the big answer there by Army came from Helms. He had a 26-yard run. He brought it down to the Navy 43. Helms on a fourth down conversion, which was very close as he got the first down. And then a personal foul face mask as Samari Howard was going around the left side. He got his face mask pulled at by Jackson Campbell, and Army was set up on a 1st and goal, and they get it in on a 2-yard touchdown run by Helms. His 16th of the year. The extra point is good. Army and Navy tied up at 7-7, 5 seconds into the second quarter, and EMCOR is the proud partner of Army West Point Athletics.
That drive important for Army to show they could move the football against this Navy defense that did a terrific job against Army 1 year ago. And Kel Helms ramming it in from 2 yards out, and now Army will kick it off back to Navy with Anderson Britton advancing on the football. Here comes the boot left to right, a great leg into it, sails over the head of Isaiah Bryant through the end zone for a touchback, and Navy will begin 1st and 10 from its own 25-yard line.
Yeah, so now they got to solve the puzzle of Horvath. 8 carries in the first drive for 45 yards. He had a couple key third down conversions, he and his teammates. So this is where the defensive people earn their money. They make the adjustments after the opening drive of each team.
We saw a lot of Stowers, Bowsam on that opening drive. Bowsam comes out along with Latour along the Army defensive line, and Eric Ford for the second possession of the game. And Navy checks into a wide formation. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Teska in the backfield, man in motion left to right. Horvath running right, run down from behind by Bowsam, tried to cut back, and it's Andon Thomas who got him back at the 23-yard line. So Blake Horvath hit for a rare loss on 1st down as he rolled out. Cole Seawright was nearby as well, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 12.
That's interesting because Navy only averages 3 tackles for loss on offense per game. You mentioned Bowsam, third team all-conference in the American Conference. He really set the play up because he chased Horvath out of the pocket, allowed then Thomas to come up and wrap him down.
And as we love to say, from Annapolis, Maryland, Jack Bowsam. 2nd and 12 out of the gun. Horvath from the right hash. One receiver left. Here's a handoff. Brandon Chapman straight ahead, 25-yard line out to the 30, trying to weave his way, pushing into a pile. He stood up and driven back. Forward progress stops at the 32-yard line. That ends up being a gain of 9. Casey Larkin makes the tackle, and Brandon Chapman, Dean Darling, we've talked a lot about him over the last several weeks, maybe the unsung offensive player for this Navy team. When he gets the opportunity, he's been very effective.
He is. He doesn't get a lot of touches a game, just 5 to carry the ball, averages 37 yards, and he's only 5'9" in stature. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, senior, and a starter in 27 games in his career.
And had a big game against Florida Atlantic in Annapolis back in October. 3rd down, we'll call it 3 for Navy from its own 32. Horvath fakes the handoff straight ahead, hits a wall, trying to push forward, did not get to the first down where he needed to. So Horvath hit in the backfield and hit a wall. Give him credit, tried to reach forward. Jack Latour ended up with the stop. And it's 4th down for the Midshipmen.
And they got good combination on that from the defensive line. And
Navy's going to punt. Job. And Navy's going to punt here, Dean.
Yeah, what a great job. And again, it was the Swiss Army knife, Ford, who turned the play inside. Eric Ford, and now, again, Navy has to punt.
Jacob Carlson, averaging 45 yards a punt. Hit a 66-yarder against USF. Waiting back. Benson at his own 25. Army doesn't come after the kick, and here comes the boot, a spiraling kick, and Benson lets it roll, takes a sideways roll inside the 35. It's touched up by Navy right there. So Army gains back a possession, stopping the Midshipmen on a 3-and-out. Army will have the football at its own 34-yard line. When we come back in Baltimore, Army and Navy tied up 7-7 with 12:37 left in this second quarter. We'll have more coming up in just a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, number 22. First down. Hey, Stan, you seem so calm and relaxed these days.
Yeah, it's because my commute to the city is so easy now that I take the Coach USA bus. I'm in the office 3 days a week, and Coach USA offers me the cheapest rates. 90 days to use my 40-trip commuter book, and lots of frequent, reliable buses at convenient times. Plus, they have a new app to buy tickets digitally. Free parking, the safest drivers, and they're environmentally friendly. And it's even good for weekend travel. My life couldn't be easier. And I'm saving money. How do you think I could afford these seats?
My commute is killing me. Sitting in traffic, tolls, gas, parking. I can barely afford this hot dog.
Well, my friend, I think you should switch to Coach USA. Then you can buy these 50-yard line seats.
For schedules and fares, go to CoachUSA.com or download the Coach USA app to buy, store, and scan your tickets.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Army fans, your West Point PX is the place to go to score big with military exclusive pricing and tax-free savings. Stop by your West Point Exchange to find out more. Army football brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee. Find at your local Walmart grocery store or at blackrifle.com. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Army West Point Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And Army and Navy thank their presenting sponsor, USAA, and participating sponsors, Chevrolet, The Exchange, Duke Cannon Supply Company, and Palantir Technologies, as well as associate sponsor, the American Legion, for their support of America's game. And what a game we've had so far. Army and Navy tied up 7-7. And I don't want to oversell it, Dean Darling, but a big stop for this Army defense against this Navy offense, considering how fast this game has gone. And Army's only had one possession. This will be their second to stop Navy on a 3-and-out. Remember, it's not time of possession, it's number of possessions, and Army got one back there.
Both teams last year got 9 possessions in the game. When you play option versus option, sometimes it can be as low as 6 possessions for each team per game. So that's a big punt from Navy. They didn't want a chance to deep in their own end to go for it on 4th down and short. And now Army with that momentum, and Helms has to be feeling pretty good. I mean, he had a very good first series for Army.
And that was only a 33-yard punt from Carlson. So Army will set up 1st and 10 from its own 34 on the right hash. Samari Howard playing some fullback. A fake handoff to Howard. Now Helms keeps it straight ahead across the 35 and churning his legs. Forward progress out near the 37, 38-yard line. We'll give him 3 yards on the play. Maxwell Williams makes the tackle. It'll bring up 2nd down. They'll call it 6 from the Army 38.
So Helms already early in the ball game has carried it 9 times. His average is 24. However, do you remember the Kansas State game when he went for a school record 41 times against the Wildcats and beat them?
Army's got 3 receivers bunched to the right side here on 2nd and 6 from its own 38. Pistol formation with Howard behind Helms. And here's the handoff, Samari Howard. Cut back, 40-yard line out near the 45. Has got the 1st down, and he's sandwiched right there. Picked up 7 yards on the 2nd down carry. Tackle on the play by Justin Ross. Let's talk about that. A little you'd say change for Army in this game. Samari Howard going from all year being the blocking slot back and part-time pass catcher to being the running back in this game.
Only 7 carries before today. Talked to Cody Worley during the week, and he told us, hey, Samari Howard's going to see the ball, and I think we're going to see him in the passing game, too, maybe coming out of the B-back position.
And he's the deep back with Helens under center on 1st down. Pitch Noah short, 45-yard line, and then pulled down as he reaches out near the 46, or I should say the 48. Pickup of a couple on 1st down. Had to make up a lot of ground from where he took the pitch. Cauley makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down. They'll call it 9 from the Army 47.
Of course, Noah had that big game against UTSA. What an electrifying run. The 81-yard score down the left side 2 weeks ago today. Only his 2nd carry today. Looking for him to get the ball involved in the passing game as well.
Army 2 receivers to the right side. Now they check out of it with Fortner moving to that left side, that slot receiver type spot. Shotgun formation, Howard to the left of Helms with Short in motion right to left. Now back to the left side. Fake handoff to Short. Helms runs into his own man and then cuts back, has nowhere to go. Henry Appleton ended up really pushed into the backfield, and it was a collision between Appleton and Helms. Left it only a 1-yard gain. Pierce made the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 8.
So it was the counter tray that they ran, and Appleton was trying to pull from that left side going through the middle, and it was like bumper cars out there. He got to the side of Helms, knocked him off kilter. So Army now faced with another situation on 3rd down.
Army opened the game with a drop back pass, which Helms ran. Now a passing situation here on 3rd and 8. 2 receivers right, man in motion. Helms back to throw. Pressure coming, fires over the middle. Caught by Noah Short. Brings a tackle at the 45. Has the 1st down. A block on the outside, far side of the 30-yard line. Pushed out of bounds. And Army with its first big play of the ball game. Cam Robinson made a touchdown-saving tackle. A 3rd down and 8 from its own 48. A 22-yard catch and run by Noah Short. And Army has a 1st down at the Navy 31.
So they gave a lot of dirty eyes that time, and they took Noah Short, and they just ran him over the middle. He was like just a middle receiver. He just sat down into that 2nd level, and there, a pinpoint pass, and then the rest was up to Short with the running ability.
And Maxwell Williams came on the blitz, and now the veteran, Cale Helms, could feel that blitz. Got rid of the football. Empty backfield. Helms out of the gun. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Shotgun formation. Helms going to run with it. 30-yard line. Cuts back to the 25. Slips by a defender. It's got the 1st down and dives forward at the Navy 19. A 12-yard gain for Cale Helms on 1st down. Kenneth McShann makes the tackle. And Army now in the red zone with 9 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter and a 7-7 game.
Rich, watch his head. Helms' head's like on a swivel. It's going back and forth. He's trying to pick up lateral movement, and then he just plows ahead to get another 1st down. Another good run as he penetrates the neutral zone and picks up 1st down yardage.
Howard to the right of Helms, who shows shotgun, now goes under center, heavy to the right side. Helms hands off. Howard runs that way, and coming up and a hit spinning forward to the 16-yard line. Maxwell Williams came up to help run support it. And it's a gain of 3 down to the 16. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
So Samari Howard, as I mentioned earlier, 7 total carries on the year. Already here in the 1st half, he's run the ball for 3 carries and running inside the tackles at 190 pounds.
We talked about the Army offensive line. I'd say they've done a good job so far against this Navy defensive line. How many times have we said Landon Robinson's name? 2nd and 7 for Army from the Navy 16. 2 receivers right. Helms out of the gun. Sends Short in motion and is going to run it straight ahead. Coming in a big hit. Griffin Willis time that in the backfield. Just when we talk about the Army defensive line, it's the Navy defensive line making its first big play of the game. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for Army from the Navy 17.
So Willis is a really good player out of Austin, Texas, stepped into a lead role this year. Remember, Navy lost some key people from last year's defense, and he's a guy playing in his 12th game, and he did a good job. Starter in 16 games in his career, 11 of them this year.
I wouldn't think this is 4-down territory unless Army got it to about a 4th and 1. Need to preserve field goal range here on this 3rd and 8 for the Black Knights from the Navy 17. Helms out of the pistol, 2 receivers left. Helms runs with it straight ahead to the 15-yard line, spins ahead, and then goes down at the 11. Ends up picking up 6 of those 8 yards on 3rd down. Pierce makes the tackle. Will Army go for it on 4th and 2 from the 11? And it appears like they will.
Yeah, well, they've been successful one time today, and looks like they're going to stay in the huddle and bring out. Well, here comes now Hayden Reed into the lineup, so they're going to bring him in for blocking purpose. Let's go down to Tony.
Little here. They're talking, doing a lot of talking. Are they come to the line now? Will they snap this ball?
9 seconds on the play clock as Helms is under center. Rendina, the fullback, at a timeout called by Jeff Monken, who had run down the sideline to the line judge to call that timeout.
First charge time out of the half. Army, full time on the field.
So Army will talk it over on a 4th and 2 from the Navy 11 with 6:35 left in the second quarter. Army and Navy tied up 7-7. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
It's just something you were born with. A need to get things right, to work hard, get dirty, and come out on top. And that's exactly what Bobcat equipment is designed to do. Fully optioned compact loaders make a bold impression on the job site and come loaded with features that improve your bottom line. Or for your biggest challenges, check out Bobcat's large excavators. Everything you expect from a Bobcat excavator, only more of it. No excuses, just pushing limits and doing it the right way or not at all. Get the Summit Bobcat in Walden or Poughkeepsie or hit summitbobcat.com.
If you think a football game can't make you feel proud to be a citizen, think again and get your family to a home game at West Point. Producing leaders for the world's finest Army, West Point reminds us that we're all one team when push comes to shove. Doesn't matter who sits to your left or your right, and we the people are a force for good. With the nation about to celebrate its 250th year, spend an autumn day at West Point. Okay, they do fire a cannon when they score, but hey, it's the Army. And Rutberg Breslow Injury Law is proud to sponsor Army football.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Tony Marino back with you, M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore. Army, Navy tied at 7, 6:35 to go first half. Army with a 4th and 2 on the 11-yard line. They had called a timeout prior to us going to break there. There's 5 on the play clock at the time. They called the timeout. Jeff Monken took another look, took a couple walks near the 10-yard line and kept looking to the sticks, looking back to the ball. He certainly wasn't happy with the ball spotting, first off, and now he's questioning whether or not he was going to go for it. Moments ago, Dawson Jones was out here practicing. He's not out there anymore. It's the offensive huddle. So they send it back up to Dean Darling. Dean, I think they're going for it.
Yeah, there was 5 seconds on the play clock. They ran Hayden Reed into the lineup late, and it looked like they were going to go for it. If you're going to run Reed in there in that situation, that's a blocking situation.
I mean, do you run the tush-push play here? And I only say that because it's a short 2. I think it's inside of 2 yards, but I mean, that's tough to ask for if you run the quarterback sneak with the push from behind. So a ball it's spotted inside the 11. So short, it does not appear, is on the field here. Aiden Self is one slot. Hayden Reed is the other. Helms will work out of the shotgun here on 4th and 2 from the Navy 11. Helms now under center with Rendina behind him. 4th and 2 from the Navy 11-yard line. Helms waiting, takes the snap, runs right, cuts back. He's got the first down inside the 10 and taken down at the Navy 8. Some pushing after the play again. But Army able to convert on 4th down as Lysick makes the tackle. He had been hurt earlier in the year, just came back in the last game against Memphis along that defensive line, and Army's now got a 1st and goal from the Navy 8.
Rendina did a great job on the block. He got to the second level, and he wrestled with his defender and pushed him back, allowed Helms to get into that hole and get a first.
Short back on the field. He's the receiver to the right side. Army going very heavy to that right now. Short in motion the other way. Helms runs it right to the 6-yard line, stumbles over a defender down to the 5. And Army using the Noah Short motion, not unlike we saw against UTSA a couple of weeks ago, which led to the Parker Pulaski touchdown. Maxwell Williams makes the tackle, 2nd and goal from the 5.
But remember that play against UTSA, the fake bootleg left, the roll to the right, and they find Pulaski on the end line in the end zone for a touchdown. But that was just student body right that time with Helms. They'd love to go off the right side. And again, Gennarelli's out there. You got Teddy Williams out there. I mean, this is a good offensive line, especially red zone.
5:15 left in the second quarter. We're tied at 7. 2nd and goal for Army from the Navy 5. Helms out of the shotgun, runs it off right tackle, hit hard at the 4. Looked like that could have been helmet to helmet. Goes down right there. Cam Robinson came up to make the tackle. And it'll be 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line.
So again, they're going to bring in Hayden Reed with the play. They take out Self. Hayden Reed is a really good blocker himself. Hasn't lugged the ball much at all in the second half of the season, but he can be a good lead blocker for Army. Look for Army maybe to try and swing outside. Maybe a little play action here.
13th play of the drive. 3rd down and goal for Army from the Navy 4. 2 receivers, right, 1 left. Noah Short, a slot right. Hayden Reed goes in motion right to left. Helms, here's a screen pass. Noah Short, 5-yard line, cuts back near the 3, and he's going to hit a brick wall. That'll be stopped short. Some hitting after the play. Noah Short for a moment looked like he might be able to cut his way into the end zone, but it'll be a 4th and goal from the 3. Credit Maxwell Williams for being in there and holding him short.
So they ran that play to the short side of the field. They had the extra boundary over here on the sideline, and Short just couldn't meander his way to the end zone. Good pursuit by the defense, sets Army up for a field goal.
Dawson Jones, 12 of 17 on field goals this year, 8 of 10 inside of 40 yards. This will be a 20-yard attempt from the right hash, so I'll have to angle it a bit to the left. Owen Walter set to snap it. Cooper Allen has it, puts it down. The field goal attempt is up, and it's good. So just a little longer than an extra point. Army is back on the scoreboard, and the Black Knights take their first lead of the 126th Army-Navy game, presented by USAA. With that field goal momentum, we'll donate $300 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The Black Knights drive 63 yards, ends up with 3 points. Army 10, Navy 7. We'll have more coming up from M&T Bank Stadium in just a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Palantir Technologies is proud to serve as the official software partner of America's Game. And today, we're honored to support the Travis Manion Foundation. Founded in 2007, the mission of the Travis Manion Foundation is to invest in our nation's veterans and families of fallen heroes to lead and serve in our communities. Named in honor of First Lieutenant Travis Manion, USMC, who was killed in Iraq in 2007, the organization provides a proactive approach to mental health and suicide prevention by meeting veterans and surviving families before they reach crisis. Duke Cannon Supply Company makes great-smelling grooming essentials for hard-working men. From beard goods and deodorant to proper cologne, thick body wash, and big bricks of soap, a portion of all proceeds benefit U.S. veterans through the Duke Cannon Veterans Fund. Find Duke Cannon products at Walmart, Target, Amazon, your local hardware store, or at DukeCannon.com. Duke Cannon. Work hard, smell better.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Army fans, DirecTV is a proud sponsor of Army Athletics. Stream the Black Knights satellite free on DirecTV.com today to learn more. Build, power, service, protect. Those are the things that describe EMCOR, a nationwide leader in all things infrastructure. From data centers to hospitals, airports to manufacturing plants, EMCOR. Build, power, service, protect. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
920 WGHQ Kingston, 1260 WBNR Beacon, and 1420 WLNA Peekskill. This is the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Rich DeMarco, Dean Darling, Joe Beckerly, Tony Marino back with you from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Army leading Navy 10-7. Dean Black Knights went 60-plus yards for those 3 points.
Yeah, they did, and they got a key 4th down conversion inside the red zone there by Helms. 21-yard catch and run. by Noah Short. 14 plays, 63 yards in total, 20-yard field goal. Dawson Jones, and Army takes the lead for the first time today at 10-7. EMCOR, proud partner of Army West Point Athletics.
Anderson Britton has put his first 2 kickoffs through the end zone. We'll see here as he kicks off left to right. Britton, another great leg into it. This one will fall down to the goal line. It's going to be run out, 5-yard line, 10. Up the right side of the 20, spins ahead, and then taken down 3 yards short of the 25 is Isaiah Bryant, making the special teams tackle Baylor Newsome. And Navy will begin 1st and 10 at its own 23. And we're going so fast in this game, we're going to take another break. 3:38 left till halftime. Army 10, Navy 7. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
This holiday season, experience the gift of luxury at the all-new GMC Bedford Hills, where new ownership means a fresh start and exceptional year-end offers. From the rugged Sierra to the refined Yukon, find the perfect GMC for wherever the road takes you this winter. Enjoy exclusive holiday incentives, first-class service, and a premium showroom experience. Make your move before the year ends and discover why more drivers are celebrating the season at GMC Bedford Hills. Visit them on Bedford Road or anytime at GMCBedfordHills.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Feldman of Feldman, Kleidman, Collins & Sape. Getting hurt in an accident can be devastating. The pain a victim experiences isn't just physical, it can be financial and emotional as well, especially if you can't care for your child. Getting the best possible result doesn't just impact one life, it impacts the lives of everyone you care about as well. If you've been injured in an accident, call 845-897-5199 for a free consultation or visit us at fkcs.law.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Army fans helping leaders of the nation's most important organizations understand complex data ecosystems and achieve tangible results. IT Cadre, your vision, our purpose. Army football brought to you by FW Web, where the pros go for plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, pipes, valves, fittings, and more. Visit FWWeb.com for a location near you. And Army West Point Athletics brought to you by the General Motors Military Appreciation Program. Get a special offer on Chevrolet vehicles at GMMilitaryAppreciation.com. 3 minutes, 38 seconds left till halftime. Rich DeMarco, Dean Darling, Joe Beckerly, and Tony Marino. Back with you, and Army enjoying something, Dean. They didn't enjoy all of last year's Army-Navy game. A lead in this game. Black Knights on top 10-7. 3:38 left in the half.
Well, if you recall, Army got down in that game 14-0. They got back with Hayden Reed touchdown catch of 23 yards to go 14-7. And then basically the third quarter, fourth quarter were owned by Navy as they beat Army 31-13.
This only the third Navy offensive possession of this game. 75-yard touchdown drive, then a 3-and-out. So Blake Horvath back on the football field in the pistol formation. One receiver out to the left side. Now a man in motion right to left. That's Chapman. Here's the fake handoff to Teska. Horvath hit in the backfield and taken down. It was Eric Ford and Jack Bowsum collaborating on the sack. And that's a loss back to the 16-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and long.
And again, Ford combining with Bowsum penetrating the offensive line. This is a veteran offensive line by Navy and getting into that backfield. Second time they've taken him down here in the ballgame.
And a team that averages, as you so astutely pointed out, Dean, only 3 negative yardage plays a game. That's now 2. Yep. Horvath out of the gun. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Teska, the one back to his left. Now he goes in motion. Horvath going to run, where they cuts back, runs into a wall, and is taken down. Forward progress out to the line of scrimmage, the 16-yard line. Army all over that one. Gavin Shields made the initial contact. Fortner was there as well. And Army now has Navy in a 3rd down and long with 2:35 left till halftime.
Rich, it was Bowson that refused to be blocked. He would not give in, and he just plugged up the hole, and that allowed the aforementioned Shields and company to make the tackle.
Big opportunity for the Army defense to hold here. It's 3rd and 17 for Navy from their own 16. 2:20 left till halftime, 5 on the play clock. 2 receivers left and 1 right for Navy. Horvath out of the gun. Back to throw, looking. He's got time, then heaves it down the middle of the field. The pass juggled and caught by Heidenreich in 1st down territory at the Navy 36. Jaden Mays went for the interception. He nearly had it. And then Eli Heidenreich, the first-team American Conference wide receiver, makes a juggling catch, and Navy converts as we hit the 2-minute timeout.
What a great catch by Heidenreich. You're right. Mays just couldn't get high enough to get the interception, and that was great composure. Also by Horvath to wait, and then throw the bullet.
Army gave him time and tried to cover downfield, and Heidenreich made the big play. It'll be a first down, Navy at their own 37-yard line when we come back on the other side of the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left, opening half, Army 10, Navy 7. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
What exactly does MCOR do? For healthcare facilities, we help keep patients and staff safe and comfortable. For data centers, we help the digital economy flow more reliably. For office buildings, we help make work environments secure, efficient, and compliant. In other words, for businesses and industries of every type, at MCOR, we build, power, service, and protect.
USAA was founded 100 years ago by military members promising to always have each other's backs. And while we've grown to offer insurance and more to over 14 million members, USAA's service still sets the standard. That's what our community, the military, and their families deserve. And now they know we take care of our own. USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Learn more at USAA.com.
Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Army fans, Kohl's has the gifts on their wish list and yours all in one place. From beauty favorites and cozy outfits to hosting must-haves and top toys, find great prices on presents for everyone at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Army football brought to you by West Point Family and MWR. FMWR offers horse boarding, golfing, skiing, catering, camping, and many more activities and programs. Visit westpoint.armymwr.com for more information. And Army football brought to you by PenFed. Great rates for everyone. Visit penfed.org to learn more. 2 minutes left till halftime. Navy with a huge 3rd down and 17 conversion. A 21-yard juggling catch made by Eli Heidenreich in the mids. 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
I asked the people behind the scenes at Navy, is Heidenreich getting looks by the NFL? They have had every team come into camp. They're looking at Heidenreich, and they're looking at Landon Robinson, who's been quiet so far today, the defensive lineman. But Heidenreich reminds people of McCaffrey in the NFL because of his way he gets open, and he can also obviously run the football, even though we haven't seen much of that today. But a great catch allows Navy to keep going down the field.
Navy's got 3 timeouts, Army with 2. 1st and 10 for Navy from its own 37. Horvath fakes the run. The pass comes left side, caught by Heidenreich, and he's caught in the air by Justin Weaver and then driven back. Forward progress to the 43-yard line. That's a 6-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4. Navy allows the clock to run. They'll line up quickly with 1:42:41 clock running here before halftime.
So they're trying to force Army into a situation where there's one-on-one coverage because the safeties have to play honest against the run.
Chapman in motion, fake end around. Horvath throws over the middle. Pass caught by Heidenreich at the Army 45. Still on his feet and being taken down. Spun to the turf at the Army 40 by Cole Madison. That will stop the clock momentarily for the 1st down. And Navy, will they take a timeout? They will not. They're still going to just line up quickly. Clock now running down to 1:20 left till halftime. Army leading it 10-7.
Heidenreich again getting lost over the middle. No defenders right there. Good spot again by Horvath.
1st and 10 for the mids. Horvath is going to keep it straight ahead, and it's hit by Thomas at the 35, carries him forward down around the 33-yard line. That's a pickup of 6 on 1st down. That'll take us under 1 minute left in the half. Navy with still 3 timeouts. And just lining up quickly. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Teska in the backfield. Horvath fires left side pass tipped and falls incomplete. Short of Heidenreich at the 28-yard line. Justin Weaver was defending. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Clock stop at the Army 32-yard line.
So on the last 3 plays, they've targeted Heidenreich, and Heidenreich got one-on-one coverage. That's what they want. They want to get him out there on Army's corners, either Weaver or Mays. And Heidenreich has had a really good series, but that time an incompletion.
And I thought that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. That was just a bad pass, a rare bad pass by Horvath, wide of Heidenreich. 3rd down and 3 for Navy from the Army 33-yard line. They'll call it now. They change it to 3rd and 4. One receiver right. That's Kent. Chapman in motion. Horvath is going to keep it straight ahead inside the 30-yard line. Has got the first down and then sandwiched down around the Navy, I should say the Army 27. Andon Thomas with the tackle. Clock stops with 41 seconds left in the half. Navy still has not taken a timeout, and the clock running after the ball reset down to 34 seconds left till halftime. 2 receivers to either side. Horvath back to throw, looking, heaves it down the middle, and the pass incomplete. It was intended for Chapman down the middle in the end zone. It was Gavin Shields who was playing the receiver. His back was to the football. Ended up falling incomplete and off the shoulder pad.
Left shoulder.
Shields.
Yep.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the Army 27.
Yeah, he wasn't turned, as you said, Rich, and hit him in the left shoulder pad, and Chapman was open in the end zone for a brief time, but they couldn't get it. Interesting, Heidenreich not on the field on that play.
And you got to watch out with Shields when you're back to the football. It could be a face guarding interference call. Obviously didn't make contact there. 2nd and 10 from the Army 27. Play fake by Horvath. Back to throw, and he fumbles the football. Ball is loose, and it's recovered by Army at the 45-yard line. Jack Bowsam with the recovery, and Army takes over with 18 seconds left till halftime. The first turnover of the Army-Navy game goes in the Black Knights' favor.
Horvath thought he was throwing the football.
Is this the Tuck rule?
The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by the defense.
It's a backwards pass.
The previous play is under further review.
Yes, it was
If it is determined to be a pass, it would qualify for intentional grounding.
So Horvath went right up to the official, and he said, I was throwing the football.
Yeah, but I think he threw it when the ball released, it went backwards. So it's a backwards pass. Like, I don't dispute Horvath was throwing the football, but the ball came down behind him. That's not an incomplete pass. That's a fumble.
Yeah, the ball went to his side.
I think it's behind him, though. That's not a forward pass.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't dispute that it's a pass. I would say the pass went backwards. And that's why it's a fumble, and it should be Army ball. From looking at that replay, Dean, and we're fortunate in the booth to have the replay, and our listeners are obviously hanging on our every word with what we see. But that's clearly a backwards pass. Yes, he was throwing it, and the ball went behind him.
Well, if it is, then it's Army's football. And let's go down to Tony.
Guys, I was thinking there, was he pulling that ball down? I know his arm was pulling forward, but he had a helmet he would have threw it right into had he thrown it. Was he pulling it down? And to Richie's point, his back was turned, so that ball went backwards once he released it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If Navy's contending it was a pass, yes, it was a pass. It just went behind him, thus it's a fumble. That's as clear as day to me on the review. Now watch, it won't be that call. Like
agree with you.
It's like watching a football game with me, right? I'm going to be wrong 99% of the time.
And this could take a while to sort out, too. But yeah, I saw Horvath run right up to the official. He was pleading, obviously.
And I think he's obviously, in his mind, generalizing that, it was a pass and the ball fell right in front of me.
Yeah.
But the ball fell to his side and at a yard line behind where he was standing, thus a backwards pass.
It's going to take a little while to get
What
this
a first half we've had, Dean Darling. 18 seconds left till halftime. Army leading Navy 10-7. This Navy high-powered offense, quite frankly, has been kept off the field for the majority of this first half.
How about the half that Jack Bowsam has had defensively?
The Annapolis native, Dean Darling.
I mean, and he has been in Horvath's cross the entire game. And again, Eric Ford's
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is upheld. Army ball, first down. Please reset the game clock to 20 seconds.
And I think that was the call. It was a backwards pass.
So Horvath on the fumble. And this is a Navy team that only turned it over a total of 11 times coming into the game. And that's big because it looked like they had a scoring drive mounted.
And that, whether you call it, I would say it's a negative yardage play. Navy has hit their quota of what they're averaging in a season in the first half. So let's see how Army plays this. Remember, the Black Knights will receive the second half kickoff, so they can be conservative here and take it into the locker room. 20 seconds left in the half. Army has 2 timeouts. they're probably about 30 yards away from giving Dawson Jones a shot at it with a field goal. Army checks into the shotgun. Heavy to the right side with Pulaski. Noah Short, one wide receiver set out there. Fake handoff, pressure coming. Helms rolls to his right, then fires it downfield, and the pass caught and out of bounds. It was Brady Anderson inside the 35-yard line and out at the 31. A 24-yard catch for Brady Anderson after Helms let things develop downfield and found him late in the play.
He had tremendous backside pressure that chased him out of the pocket. He was aware of that. He goes off the run, and he finds his big receiver, Anderson, and preserves a timeout right there as well.
And how about Army's offense and its offensive line in this opening half? Helms under center, heavy to the left side. Rendina is the fullback. 14 seconds left in the half. Helms back to throw. Heaves it down the right side for Noah Short. Noah Short jumping, takes down the defender with him. No penalty flag comes down. And we have 8 seconds left in the half. And Short, it looked like, trying to take the defender with him a bit. I give Noah credit. Cam Robinson, they both came down together. Noah maybe trying to sell that as interference. It'll be now 2nd down and 10 from the Navy 31 with 8 seconds left till halftime.
And Noah was doing the best he could. And if you're Navy's, you're going to say that's offensive pass interference. But you know what the official said? Let it play out. The ball was up there for the two to try and catch.
They're both trying to sell it there, right?
Yep.
8 seconds left in the half on 2nd down. Helms going to run it left, hits a wall at about the 28-yard line, just lining up the football. Black Knights call timeout. Jeff Munkin's right on that line, Judge. Coleman Cauley makes the tackle, and this will set up.
Second charge time out of the half. Army, please set the game clock to 3 seconds.
And this will set up Dawson Jones for a 45-yard field goal attempt. Remember, Air Force hit the 44-yarder to head things into halftime. They'll try to do the same here. Let's go down to Tony.
Guys, keep in mind a couple of factors here. Obviously, we're on grass today, so there's a little bit of give out there. You know, haven't had too bad of weather here so far in Baltimore as far as precipitation, so the turf's in pretty good shape. So keep that in mind. I could say the point after try, that was a high snap, and then the field goal, we questioned a little bit, so I don't think Dawson Jones had his best kick yet today. And this one is going to be probably looking about 45 yards, 46 yards potentially.
So if it is 45, he has a 45-yarder to his credit with UAB. Remember, he's hit 6 in a row, but when you look at 40-plus, he's 4 for 7. So this will be a big play if he could notch that going into the locker room.
This is only Army's 2nd game on a natural surface this year. The UAB game on the Thursday night, the other game played on grass. Dean, you mentioned the 45-yarder against UAB near the end of the first half. He went into halftime, similar situation here against Air Force with a 44-yarder, which proved to be decisive in that game, and he'll try to do it again here.
So a lot of pressure on the young man who really struggled at the beginning of the year. He didn't have a great opener against Tarleton State, and since that time, he's put it together and hit one earlier in the ballgame, a short one. So see how Army's special teams operation comes out here. It all comes down to the snap, the hold, obviously. And Army's done a good job. Owen Walter, the snapper, right? Of course. One of the people carrying flags today.
And remember, this drive began with Navy looking like they were marching in after a big 3rd down conversion to maybe score before halftime. A Blake Horvath fumble. And Army taking over near midfield, a big Brady Anderson catch, and now moving into field goal range. And now it looks like the officials are looking at something on review. Could this be the yard line of where Helms was stopped? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe how many seconds are left in the half? I mean, 3, if it's 3 or 4, even 5, the field goal is going to take up that remainder of time. But that's what's holding up the game right now. Army fans, over land, at sea, and through the air, Rolls-Royce engines power our U.S. military to achieve mission success. Rolls-Royce, proud partner of Army West Point Athletics. And build, power, service, protect. Those are the things that describe EMCOR, a nationwide leader in all things infrastructure, from data centers to hospitals, airports to manufacturing plants. EMCOR, build, power, service, protect. And it appears the officials are looking at whether Cale Helms fumbled the football. Navy came out of the pile, Coleman Cauley with the ball. And there's a slow motion replay that we're getting here in the booth that shows that ball being wrestled away perhaps before Hellam's left knee had touched the ground. Very, very close. I mean, the ball definitely came out, but looks like he was still cradling the football when his knee came down. So that's what's being looked at now, whether this half will end with Navy forcing a turnover on Army to take it into the locker room, a 10-7 game, or if Army's going to have a chance at a 45, 46-yard field goal to increase its advantage heading into the locker room.
His head went down first to the turf. It's hard to pick up where his knee is, and somebody was grasping at the football right there for Navy.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's third down.
So Army took the timeout and will bring Dawson Jones on to attempt a field goal and look to increase this lead heading into halftime. So Dawson Jones, 12 of 17 on the season. This a 45-yard field goal attempt between the hashes would match his longest of his career. Owen Walter snaps it. It's low. Cooper Allen gets it down. Kick is away. Plenty of distance, and it is good. Second straight Service Academy game. It's Dawson Jones heading into the locker room with a big field goal to increase Army's lead to 13-7. Oh, what a drill by Dawson Jones. Army on top by 6, down to Tony Marino, catching up with Jeff Munkin coming off the field.
Coach, what momentum that takes. Dawson Jones just drilled that kick. Take me through that last 2 minutes there. You guys make a huge play, get the ball back there.
Well, it certainly was a big play to get the fumble. They were taking the ball right back down on us. It was really disappointing we didn't get 7 points down here. Had to settle for the field goal. Great job by the defense stopping them. And, man, we made a big play to put ourselves in position there for that field goal. And what a great kick by Dawson. But we got to do better. We got to do a better job on defense. They're hitting some chunk plays. They've hit some third downs on us. Offensively, when we get it down there close, we got to put her in the end zone. So a lot we got to talk about and improve on, and there's a lot of football left to play.
I'll use one of your phrases. This game's being played in a shoebox here. This is what you'd expect.
Well, it's just such a hard-fought game. I mean, both teams are fighting their butts off, and that's what makes this game so great. So I hope we're able to play well enough in the second half to find a way to the victory circle.
Thanks, Coach. Back upstairs.
Second straight Service Academy game. It's Dawson Jones drilling a field goal. Heading into halftime, Army increases the lead 13-7 with that field goal. Momentum will donate $300 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And don't forget, Army will receive the second half kickoff. So 13 straight points for Army, and they'll have first crack at it in the second half. But coming up next, Joe Beckerly, our program host, will have your halftime show. Army leads it at the half over Navy 13-7. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Game-changing moments don't happen by chance. They require vision, innovation, and relentless drive. At Amentum, we deliver advanced engineering and technology solutions that power missions on the ground, in the air, and far beyond the horizon. From space exploration to modern defense, our expertise pushes the limits, because the future won't wait. Amentum, advancing the future together. Learn more at Amentum.com. Amentum, advancing the future together.
Whether protecting our country or battling on the gridiron, the best defense requires power, precision, and the ability to outperform the opponent. At Rolls-Royce, we are proud to provide world-class American-made power solutions in support of our service members. Over land, at sea, and through the air, Rolls-Royce engines power our U.S. military to achieve mission success.
If you wear a military uniform today, hung it up years ago, or grew up watching a loved one put it on, you could be part of our community at USAA. Those who served and joined, their spouses, kids, and then grandkids. Founded by military members over 100 years ago, we're still taking care of our own. USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Become a member today at usaa.com/join.
Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
Go Army, beat Navy. You said that last year, too, right before we won again. Okay. But let's get real. This rivalry is bigger than football. It's about pride, tradition, and giving back. The American Legion is bringing both sides together for one mission, supporting veterans and military families. The American Legion is the official VSO of the Army-Navy game, uniting both teams for one cause. 2 teams, 1 Legion, 1 mission. Fuel the fight. Donate now at legion.org/rivalry.
Attention, Department of War and Coast Guard civilians with a Common Access Card. You are eligible to shop your military exchanges in-store and online. Your CAC is the key to unlocking your savings benefit. Tax-free shopping with military-exclusive pricing and credit options. 100% of exchange earnings go back to improve military community quality of life programs. The Exchange, it matters where you shop. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to learn more.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
On the Army Sports Network from Learfield, Army Black Knights football is brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. Best Coke ever? SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of Army West Point Athletics. Find tickets to Black Knights games and more. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Welcome to the Coca-Cola Halftime Show. Here's Joe Beckerly.
It's halftime at America's game. Army and Navy, where the Black Knights of Army have taken a 13-7 lead over the Midshipmen of Army here on the Coca-Cola Halftime Show. Quick numbers here in the first half. Total yards for Army, 155 to Navy's 117. 53 yards passing on 4 of 5 attempts. 102 yards rushing on 24 attempts. Army's had the ball for 16 and a half minutes. Navy's had the ball for 13 and a half minutes. They have 1 penalty for 10 yards. They have 61 yards passing, 117 on the ground. But they also turned the ball over once for a Black Knights score. We'll get to that in a second because the halftime scoring report is brought to you by PenFed Credit Union, proud sponsor of Army West Point Athletics. PenFed, great rates for everyone. Army won the opening toss, elected to defer. Navy got the opening kickoff, went right down the field on a 13-play, 75-yard drive, and scored first. 3rd and 2 from the Army 5. Tight formation for the Midshipmen. Horvath runs right, cuts back to the 3, on his feet in the end zone. Touchdown, Navy. Blake Horvath bouncing off defenders, slips into the end zone from 5 yards out. And the Midshipmen are on the board with 7 minutes and 16 seconds to play in this opening quarter. They drive 75 yards for the first points of the game. So Navy got the job done on its opening possession. So did the Black Knights. Their first possession, they got the ball at kickoff at the 25, marched all the way down the field, converted a 4th and 2 at their own at the Navy 23, went down, got down to the 10-yard line, and decided to punch it in with Cale Helms taking it in to tie the game up. Tight formation for Army. 2nd down and goal inside the Navy 2. Rendina behind Helms. Cale keeps it, runs right, hits the goal line. Touchdown, Army! Cale Helms finds the end zone in his first Army-Navy game, and that gets the Cadets. And the Black Knights fired up. The Black Knights an extra point away from tying this game up 5 seconds into the second quarter.
Cal Helms, a 2-yard run for the touchdown. The Dawson Jones extra point was good. 13 plays, 75 yards, 7:21 in time of possession, and we're all even at 7 apiece. Navy's next possession, Army's defense stiffened a tackle for loss on first down, and Navy went 3 and out, forced to punt. Army got its second possession and again went down the field. Got down to a 4th and goal at the 3-yard line, and Coach Monken set Dawson Jones back out onto the field.
This will be a 20-yard attempt from the right hash, so I'll have to angle it a bit to the left. Owen Walter set to snap it. Cooper Allen has it, puts it down. The field goal attempt is up, and it's good. So just a little longer than an extra point. Army is back on the scoreboard, and the Black Knights take their first lead of the 126th Army-Navy game, presented by USAA.
It was a 20-yard field goal for Dawson Jones after a 14-play drive that went 63 yards, just under 9 minutes in time of possession, and that gave Army the 10-7 lead, gave Navy the ball back with 3:45 to go. On their first possession, Army came up with a huge sack on the play and knocked Navy into a 2nd and 17 from their own 16-yard line. But they eventually got the first down, got down to the field. It was 2nd and 10 at the Army 27 when the Navy fumble caused the first turnover of the game.
2nd and 10 from the Army 27. Play fake by Horvath. Back to throw, and he fumbles the football. Ball is loose, and it's recovered by Army at the 45-yard line. Jack Bowsam with the recovery, and Army takes over with 18 seconds left till halftime. The first turnover of the Army-Navy game goes in the Black Knights' favor.
After review, the call was upheld. Blake Horvath, the Navy quarterback, argued that it was an incomplete pass, but upon review, even though his arm was going forward, the ball went behind him, so it was a backward pass, thereby a fumble. The call upheld. Army got the first turnover of the game on Navy, and they made the most of it. With just 20 seconds to go before halftime, they got down the yard. They started at their own 45. A big pass play to Brady Anderson got into Navy territory. After a 3rd and 7 at the Navy 28 with 2 seconds to go, Dawson Jones comes on again.
So Dawson Jones, 12 of 17 on the season. This a 45-yard field goal attempt between the hashes would match his longest of his career. Owen Walter snaps it. It's low. Cooper Allen gets it down. Kick is away. Plenty of distance, and it is good. Second straight Service Academy game. It's Dawson Jones heading into the locker room with a big field goal to increase Army's lead to 13-7. Oh, what a drill by Dawson Jones. Army on top by 6.
Dawson Jones, the 45-yard field goal was good. 4 plays, 27 yards. The kick looked like it was shading a little bit left, but then veered back in through the uprights, and that gives Army the 13-7 halftime lead. Stay with us. More to come on the Coca-Cola halftime show. Army on top of Navy. 1 half left to play from Baltimore, Maryland. You're listening to Black Knights College Football from Learfield.
What exactly does MCOR do? For healthcare facilities, we help keep patients and staff safe and comfortable. For data centers, we help the digital economy flow more reliably. For office buildings, we help make work environments secure, efficient, and compliant. In other words, for businesses and industries of every type, at MCOR, we build, power, service, and protect.
Visualization Engineering by IT Cadre, helping leaders of the nation's most important organizations understand complex data ecosystems and achieve tangible results. IT Cadre's unique methodology provides clarity so leaders can confidently implement AI and make the best data-driven decisions to achieve their goals. When your program is challenging, visualize your success. IT Cadre, your vision, our purpose.
Life is full of adventures.
Do you take this man to be your husband? I do. Welcome home.
We did it. He has your eyes.
He's perfect.
Make the most of them all with PenFed checking and savings accounts. Learn more at PenFed.org. Federally insured by NCAA. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed Credit Union.
USAA was founded 100 years ago by military members promising to always have each other's backs. And while we've grown to offer insurance and more to over 14 million members, USAA's service still sets the standard. That's what our community, the military, and their families deserve. And how they know we take care of our own. USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Learn more at USAA.com.
Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
Serving your country is a full-time commitment. That's why Chevrolet is honored to support those who serve with an inclusive military offer. Through the Chevrolet Military Discount, eligible military personnel can receive special offers on vehicles, OnStar services, and Sirius XM packages. It's a small gesture of our gratitude for those who've given so much. Visit ChevySalutes.com for more details.
Duke Cannon Supply Company makes great-smelling grooming essentials for hardworking men. From beard goods and deodorant to proper cologne, thick body wash, and big bricks of soap, a portion of all proceeds benefit U.S. veterans through the Duke Cannon Veterans Fund. Find Duke Cannon products at Walmart, Target, Amazon, your local hardware store, or at DukeCannon.com. Duke Cannon. Work hard, smell better.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by Army West Point. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
Back at the Coca-Cola halftime show from Baltimore, Maryland, M&T Bank Stadium, where the Black Knights of Army have the 13-7 lead over the Midshipmen of Navy in America's game. The Scoreboard report brought to you by The Exchange. No other games going on right now, but let's talk about what the American Conference teams are going to be doing in bowl season, which starts tonight, but they will pick it up on Wednesday, December 17th, when South Florida will play Old Dominion in the Cure Bowl from Orlando, Florida. Coming up on Friday the 19th, it's Memphis and North Carolina State in the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa. Saturday, December 20th, number 11 Tulane on the road at Ole Miss, number 6 in the first round of the college football playoff. That game in Oxford, Mississippi. Friday, December 26th, UTSA will take on Florida International in the First Responder Bowl in Dallas, Texas, Gerald Ford Stadium on the campus of SMU. Saturday, December 27th, well, that's the Army game. UConn and Army in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl in Boston, Massachusetts, a 2:15 start there. Also on the 27th, it's East Carolina and Pittsburgh. Pitt in the Military Bowl from Annapolis, Maryland at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. Also, later that night, North Texas, number 25 in the country, will take on San Diego State in the New Mexico Bowl from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Friday, the 2nd of January, Rice and Texas State in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas. And Navy, also on the 2nd, will take on Cincinnati in the Liberty. All in all, the American Athletic Conference has got 9 teams in bowl games this year. 8 qualified with the 6 wins, and Rice picking up the bowl game appearance with a 7-5 record due to some availability. Most likely teams like Notre Dame opting out of bowls opened up a position for them. That's the Scoreboard report brought to you by The Exchange. We're going to take another break here on the Coca-Cola halftime show from the Army-Navy game in Baltimore, Maryland. Kickoff just moments away. Second half coming up in just a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football from Learfield.
If you're looking for a job that makes a real difference, connect with Abilities First. They are hiring in Dutchess and Orange County. Abilities First supports individuals with special needs, from preschoolers to adults, helping them thrive all the way. If you're compassionate, patient, and love helping others, they want to meet you. Even if you have no experience, it's not a problem. They have entry-level positions with real pathways to grow into leadership. At Abilities First, inclusion isn't just a goal, it's their mission. Make your work meaningful. Apply today online at abilitiesfirstny.org. Abilities First, where ability meets opportunity.
It's just something you were born with. A need to get things right, to work hard, get dirty, and come out on top. And that's exactly what Bobcat equipment is designed to do. Fully optioned compact loaders make a bold impression on the job site and come loaded with features that improve your bottom line. Or for your biggest challenges, check out Bobcat's large excavators. Everything you expect from a Bobcat excavator, only more of it. No excuses, just pushing limits and doing it the right way or not at all. Get the Summit Bobcat in Walden or Poughkeepsie or hit summitbobcat.com.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Final time on the Coca-Cola halftime show. Army leading Navy 13-7. 1 half of football left to play. Some numbers of this one before we kick off half number 2. For the Black Knights, Cale Helms passing 4 of 5, 53 yards. He's also rushed the ball 17 times for 79 yards. He's got Army's only touchdown of the game. Samari Howard has 15 yards on 4 carries. Jake Rendina carried it once for 4 yards. Noah Short has 2 carries for 4 yards. Brady Anderson has caught a pass, 2 passes for 31 yards. The long one, 24, that set up the closing field goal by Dawson Jones to give Army the points right at the end of the break. Jack Balsam has the 1 turnover on the fumble recovery. Colin Madison has a total of 4 tackles along with Casey Larkin and Andon Thomas. For the mids, Blake Horvath, 4 of 6 passing, 56 yards. He also has 33 yards on 15 carries, and he fumbled the ball, which caused the 1 turnover. Eli Heidenreich, 16 yards on 2 carries. And Heidenreich has 56 yards on 4 receptions. Coleman Cawley leads the mids with 9 tackles on the day. Well, that'll do it for the Coca-Cola halftime show from the Army-Navy game. I'm Joe Beckerly. Time to turn it over to Rich DeMarco, Dean Darling, and Tony Marino for the call of the decisive second half. Enjoy the rest of the game, everybody.
So Army, by virtue of winning the coin toss and deferring, will receive here to begin the second half. And Dean, I can't underscore how big this is for Army, but maybe more importantly, the Navy defense to stop Army. This is going to be a huge point in the football game.
When you think about it, Army has scored 3 consecutive possessions, right? And look at Navy; they went right down the field and scored to open the game. But since that time, they have stumbled and bumbled a bit. And Horvath has been shaken. Horvath's been tackled for the loss. He had the key fumble, about some recovery. So, yeah, Army has control of the game right now, momentum-wise. And, again, want to make a statement to start the second half.
Lance Gossett set to kick it away. Army will move from left to right here in this third quarter. Lloyd Benson along with Samari Howard are back deep for the Black Knights. Here's Gossett advancing on the football. And this time kicks it deep. Fair catch called for, made by Benson at the 1-yard line between the hashes. Ball will come out to the 25, and that's where Army will begin its opening march of this second half. Cale Helms in control in this game. How about the Army offensive line? We talked a lot in the pregame, Dean Darling, how key that was going to be in Army moving the football, something they had a lot of trouble doing 1 season ago. They've done a fine job so far.
They have, and again, you're right. The offensive line and Brady Small, a first-team all-conference player, has been one of the spearheads right there. And again, I like the way Generelli has been playing at the right guard.
And Helms checks into under center. Samari Howard, who's been the fullback for most of this game. Play fake. Helms back to throw. Fires it far side. Pass caught by Noah Short. Makes a move at the 35. Out to the 40. Far sideline of the 50. Into Navy territory. And then run out of bounds at the Navy 41-yard line. He had put a move on Justin Ross and able to take it upfield and for Noah Short. That's a 29-yard catch and run. 1st and 10 for Army at the Navy 46.
Army's all-time leader in touches and yards, and he again runs the quick out on the sideline, one-on-one coverage out there in the corner. I tell you what, Helms has been on the money on his throws today. Another completion.
And he's had time and has felt the blitz and beaten the blitz a couple of times. Pistol formation with Howard behind Helms, 2 receivers right. Handoff, Samari Howard running right, not much to work with, able to slip through and pick up a couple down to the 44-yard line. It'll be a 2nd down and 8. Julian Mudame made the tackle.
So Short today with the 3 catches for 51 yards, long of 29, and Helms has completed 5 of 6 passes here in the ball game. Remember, Rich, about midseason, he was throwing a lot of balls high. They were going over top the receiver's head. He has been pinpoint today thus far.
Checks out from under center into the shotgun. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Looks like there's confusion in the Navy secondary as Helms rolls to his right looking and then throws it away. Justin Ross, before the play, was jumping up and down, waving both arms. And Navy's defense was able to at least pressure Helms into throwing that one away. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
And it looked like Sissesi was having a really good time picking up Short. So Helms saw that, and he threw it away on purpose because you don't want to risk an interception right there.
3rd down and 8 from the Navy 44-yard line. Minute 23 gone by. 3rd quarter. Army on top of Navy 13-7. Big play for the Black Knights. Aiden Self in motion. Right to left, and now a timeout I think is going to be called. Army had 2 men in motion, and Jeff Munkin called a timeout with the play clock running down.
First charge time out of the half. Army, full time out on the field.
You can always use those timeouts late in the second half. Hate to see them taken early in the second half, but Jeff Munkin needed to get the right play on the field with enough time on the play clock. We will step aside as well. It'll be 3rd and 8 for Army from the Navy 44 when we come back. 13:37 left in the 3rd quarter here in Baltimore. Army 13, Navy 7. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse sporting options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
Hey, Black Knights fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Army football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Army Black Knights. Let's go, Black Knights! SeatGeek.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Welcome back to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, along with Dean Darling, Joe Beckerly, and sideline reporter Tony Marino. I'm Rich DeMarco. You're listening to the Army-Navy game across the Army Sports Network from Learfield, brought to you by USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Army fans, build, power, service, protect. Those are the things that describe EMCOR, a nationwide leader in all things infrastructure, from data centers to hospitals, airports to manufacturing plants. EMCOR, build, power, service, protect. And ankle pain, keeping you on the sidelines, get back in the game. Strikers, ankle replacement solutions can help restore your range of motion. Learn more at striker.com/westpoint. Army taking its first time out of the second half. They'll face a 3rd down and 8 from the Navy 44. Opening drive of half number 2. Army has scored 13 straight points in this game and a 13-7 lead over the Midshipmen.
And a really nice pass to get this series going to Noah Short. And now then they had to throw one away, so it sets them up on 3rd down. 3rd down numbers today. Army 5 for 6. That's a key number right there. You look at last year's game, they were down around 30% converting on 3rd down. So that was a big part of Army scoring in the first half, and a couple key 4th down conversions too. But now Army coming out with a 3rd and long.
3rd down and 8 from the Navy 44. Not sure this is 4 down territory. Deep darling. 2 receivers left for Army. Out of the shotgun Helms, Rendina to his left motion before the snap. They're going to blow it dead. This is going to be a false start on Army, and 3rd and 8 is going to end up turning into the 3rd and 13 like Army was trying to avoid before they called the timeout.
Rendina very upset.
False start. Offense number 59. It's a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Really, a lot of the Army offensive line ended up moving before the ball was snapped, and they call it on Jeffcoat, but that's a big 5 yards, and really it shows the waste of the timeout then, because you lost the 5 yards anyway, like you would have had you taken the penalty before the timeout. 3rd and 13 for Army. For the Navy 49-yard line. Helms out of the gun, steps up, under pressure, rolls to his right, looking, and now is going to heave it, incomplete. Just overthrown on the near sideline, intended for Pulaski. There were 3 Navy defenders, and the Black Knights, for the first time today, will punt the football.
So that was Army's first penalty of the day. They are number 1 in the nation in least amount of penalties per game, less than 3. Number 1 in the nation in penalty yards per game. But that was a key one because it made 3rd and longer on a 3rd down situation.
Brandon Chapman waits back at his 10-yard line. James Wagenseller awaits the snap at his 36. Navy doesn't come after the kick, and here comes the boot by Wagenseller. An end-over-end kick, and a fair catch called for by Chapman and made at the 11-yard line. So a 38-yard punt by Wagenseller, but beautifully dropped inside the 20, inside the 15 at the Navy 11-yard line. That is where the Midshipmen will begin 1st and 10 when we come back. 13:22 left, 3rd quarter here in Baltimore. Army 13, Navy 7. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, number 22. 1st down.
Hey, Stan, you seem so calm and relaxed these days.
Yeah, it's because my commute to the city is so easy now that I take the Coach USA bus. I'm in the office 3 days a week, and Coach USA offers me the cheapest rates. 90 days to use my 40-trip commuter book, and lots of frequent, reliable buses at convenient times. Plus, they have a new app to buy tickets digitally. Free parking, the safest drivers, and they're environmentally friendly. And it's even good for weekend travel. My life couldn't be easier. And I'm saving money. How do you think I could afford these seats?
My commute is killing me. Sitting in traffic, tolls, gas, parking. I can barely afford this hot dog.
Well, my friend, I think you should switch to Coach USA. Then you can buy these 50-yard line seats.
For schedules and fares, go to CoachUSA.com or download the Coach USA app to buy, store, and scan your tickets.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Army West Point Athletics and the United States Military Academy would like to recognize its Team Army partners, industry leaders such as Stryker, Coca-Cola, MCOR, The Exchange, USAA, and CBS Sports Network, whose values and beliefs are in line with those of the Academy. Because of the generosity of Team Army members, cadet athletes are ensured of a tremendous athletic experience. Army and Navy thank their presenting sponsor, USAA, and participating sponsors, Chevrolet, The Exchange, Duke Cannon Supply Company, and Palantir Technologies, as well as associate sponsor, the American Legion, for their support of America's Game. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
920 WGHQ Kingston, 1260 WBNR Beacon, and 1420 WLNA Peekskill. This is the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
38-yard punt by James Wagenseller. Fair caught at the 11-yard line of Navy. That's where the Mids will begin 1st and 10 for their initial possession of half number 2 holding Army, though the Black Knights in the lead 13-7. Blake Horvath under center has not had his usual statistical game so far. Checks into the shotgun. Teska to his right. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Chapman in motion right to left. Handoff Teska and runs into his own man and then tackled across the 13, maybe the 14-yard line is where he got to. Andon Thomas along with Colin Madison made the tackle. Hoke Smith, who had been injured, has been out there for this Navy team and the offensive line at the right guard. And it looked like Teska might have bumped into an offensive lineman or two.
And Teska, that's only Rich's third carry of the ball game, and he has had some big games this year for them. Another senior in that backfield.
2nd down and 7 for Navy from its own 14. 3 receivers bunched to the right side. Teska to the left of Horvath. Man in motion, Heidenreich right to left. Horvath fakes the handoff, then runs left. He's wrapped up by Thomas and then driven back. Stop for no gain. Horvath ran right, and as he met a wall, it was Thomas giving him a bear hug and pulling him back. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Thomas had 4 tackles in the first half and played a spirit type of defense, and he just blew by between the guard and the tackle hole. He got himself into the backfield, and another big hit.
And another big opportunity for the Army defense. 3rd down and 7. As Gavin Shields helped finish off that tackle on Horvath for no gain. 3rd and 7 for Navy from its own 14. 2 receivers right, and Heidenreich now in motion out to the left side. Horvath back to throw, under pressure, fires it over the middle, pass through the hands of Heidenreich, intercepted. Justin Weaver cuts back to the 25, to the 20, far sideline of the 15. Nobody's gonna catch him. Justin Weaver, interception, return for a touchdown. Weaver picked it off after it went through the hands of Eli Heidenreich, and the Army defense puts one on the board of its own, and the Black Knights take control with 11 minutes and 48 seconds left in this 3rd quarter.
And what was really cool is that he ran right into the Army student section after he picked off the
down
pass.
When he intercepted the ball? That's my question, and I wonder if they're going to look at that. It was not, and that, I think, is the question.
The previous play is under further review.
Yeah, the review is going to be, and I thought of it for a moment, and when they looked at it, was his knee down when he made the pick at the 32-yard line? And it was.
Yeah, it is.
It's an interception. It'll just be Army football at the 32 instead of a pick 6.
Yeah, that was key, as his right knee went down as he caught the ball.
Yeah.
And Army has one come off the board, but they're set up really well, and they have affected a rattled
Horvath
Blake
is
Horvath.
just not the Blake Horvath we have seen throughout this year. I mean, there was talk about Blake Horvath being a Heisman Trophy finalist.
Yeah.
And Blake Horvath has been hardly.
After reviewing the play, the Army player did intercept the ball, but his knee was down at the 32-yard line. It's 1st down, Army.
So the Navy fans cheer, but still an opportunity for Army maybe to drain the clock if they could take it in here for a touchdown. So the moment it went to 19-7 with an extra point coming, now is gone back to 13-7, but Army picking up its 2nd turnover of the game. This is a Navy team that is used to winning the turnover battle. So the Black Knights take over. And the interception by Justin Weaver, his 1st of the season. 1st and 10 for Army from the Navy 32. On the right hash, Helms out of the shotgun. Going to run left with it. Helms, a late pitch, no, is able to keep it to the 30-yard line, pushing his way down to the 29. A pickup of just 2. And tackled on the play by Coleman Cauley. It's been Cauley's name we've said a lot. Landon Robinson, Dean, the Army offensive line, because it's not just Brady Small, because he lines up a number of different places.
Right.
Done a very good job against the American Conference Defensive Player of the Year.
So he had 3 tackles in the first half, but you have called Cauley a lot. 9 tackles in the first half alone.
So that's a gain of, they give him 3. 2nd and 7 for Army from the Navy 28-yard line. 1 receiver left. Howard in the backfield. Handoff Samari. Left side looking to turn the corner. Driven out of bounds and a tackle for loss. Luke Pierce got his arms on Howard. Ran him out of bounds. And that'll go all the way back to the 34-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 12 for the Black Knights.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Howard didn't have a chance. That's one of the veterans on the defense that is back, and Pierce, 3rd on the team in tackles. He just read that play so well, got into the backfield and pushed him out of bounds.
He had 9 tackles against Army 1 year ago. 3rd down and 12 for the Black Knights from the Navy 34. 10:33 left in the 3rd quarter. Army on top 13-7. Hayden Reed in motion left to right. Helms going to run it right, has some opening, ends up keeping it sandwiched at the 31-yard line. Decided not to pitch it outside to Samari Howard. Coleman Cauley came up to make the tackle. It'll be 4th down, and the Black Knights will look to salvage 3 points out of it with what will be a career-long field goal attempt for Dawson Jones.
Yeah, he's hit 7 in a row, but this will be, as you said, a very long shot for him.
2 for 2 today, 14 of 19 on the year, and 5 of 8 from 40-plus. This will be from 47 yards from the right hash and angle to the left. Cooper Allen will hold it. Owen Walter will snap it. Allen calls for the football. Ball is down. The kick is away. It's got the distance, and it is good. Oh, he just put it in. Dawson Jones dropped that like a teardrop across the crossbar, and Army is back on the board with 9 minutes and 39 seconds left in this third quarter, extending its lead to 16-7.
It was losing altitude, and it kept floating and just got over the crossbar for a 3. What a money kick there.
A career long for Dawson Jones. With that field goal, Amentum will donate $300 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Army doesn't end up with 7, but they end up with 3 after the second Navy turnover. Black Knights lead the Midshipmen 16-7 with 9:39 left in the third quarter. We'll have more coming up from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. In just a moment, you're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
If you wear a military uniform today, hung it up years ago, or grew up watching a loved one put it on, you could be part of our community at USAA. Those who served and joined, their spouses, kids, and then grandkids. Founded by military members over 100 years ago, we're still taking care of our own. USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army Navy Game. Become a member today at usaa.com/join.
Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
To those dedicated to defending our country, we recognize and appreciate your service. The General Motors Military Appreciation Program is the official automotive sponsor of Army West Point Athletics, and we're proud to honor all active U.S. military members, veterans, and retirees with a special offer on eligible new Chevrolet vehicles. It's our way of saying thank you for everything you do. Visit gmmilitaryappreciation.com to learn more.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Army West Point Athletics and the United States Military Academy would like to recognize its Team Army partners, industry leaders such as Stryker, Coca-Cola, EMCOR, The Exchange, USAA, and CBS Sports Network, whose values and beliefs are in line with those of the Academy. Because of the generosity of Team Army members, cadet athletes are ensured of a tremendous athletic experience. And which schools will win the Learfield Directors Cup for the nation's top athletic programs this upcoming year? Check out how far your favorite school is doing at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at Directors Cup at thedirectorscup.com. Winners announced in June 2026. The Learfield Directors Cup powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics. Army puts 3 more on the board. Black Knights increase the lead to 16-7 over Navy. 16 straight points for Army in this ball game. 9:39 left in the third quarter.
So this game was very key for Army's defense, and they have played so well. And you look at it, Army comes away with the big interception. That was key. Army only gets 3 out of it, but it puts it up by a 9-point spread.
That was a big field goal. 16-7, right? Final score, Super Bowl III.
Yeah, of course.
As a Jets fan, that's
long-suffering Jet fan.
Exactly. Here's Anderson Britton set to kick it away. And Isaiah Bryant, and lets it go over his head and through the end zone for a touchback. It'll be Navy taking over 1st and 10 from its own 25. So what's eating Blake Horvath? 4 of 7 through the air, 56 yards and an interception. On the ground, he's got a touchdown. Just 33 yards on 16 carries, and you get the feeling this 9-point lead feels like it's more. Navy can be right back in the game with one big play. Blake Horvath's got to be the guy to make it happen.
Yeah, and you hope that Army didn't shoot itself in the foot by getting a couple field goals where they could have gotten touchdowns out of that situation. But, again, the onus is on the defense. So far, so good for the Black Knights.
So Horvath will work as a gun.
Set the play clock to 25 seconds.
9:39 left in this third quarter. And now the possessions in this second half adding up a little bit. So Navy with the ball back. Teska to the left of Horvath, who's going to keep it on first down, trying to slip by out to the 30-yard line, taken down from behind by Ford. And it was Colin Madison coming up to get him at the legs. Madison, I'll tell you, he's been all over the place, like a water bug, you would say in basketball, just hops from spot to spot. A 5-yard gain for Horvath. Could have been more. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 30.
Yeah, he's had a really good year, Madison. And, again, the Kansas State game, he was unbelievable, especially on the last Kansas State possession where he knocked down 3 balls on pass attempts.
2 receivers out to the left side, including Teska. Heidenreich now to the left of Horvath in the backfield. Teska goes in motion. Fake handoff to Heidenreich. Horvath keeps it, runs left, and he's bear hugged and taken down by Jaden Mays, who came up, then gives the Gravedigger celebration after the body slam down at the 33-yard line. It'll be 2 yards short of the first down with 3rd down coming up.
Well, they teach you never go in the air with the football, right? The running backs, and that time he went in the air and he went right into the waiting arms. As you said, Jaden Mays also help coming from Andon Thomas.
So 3rd down and a long 2 for Navy. Just inside their own 33-yard line. Very tight formation for the Midshipmen. Teska, the deep back, just 3 yards behind Horvath. Blake is going to keep it, cuts back, pushing his way. He's got the first down across the 35-yard line, then backwards falls in first down territory. So Navy converts on the 3rd and 2. Clock running. We'll go under 8 minutes here in the third quarter. Dylan Stowers, who saw a lot of run in the first half along that defensive line, made the tackle.
Yeah, Horvath on the Norwich rushes it 17 times a game, 104 yards a game so far today when you count that. 19 carries, has been held to 44 yards. He took a big hit on the loss when he lost the fumble.
They check out of the tight formation into the shotgun with Horvath. Teska to his right. Heidenreich now in motion wide to the right side. Horvath rolling to his right, throws on the run. One hops it to Heidenreich. Another poorly thrown pass by Blake Horvath. He's got the pick. He has the fumble on a pass that he lost hold of, and a couple other balls that have been underthrown.
And he's come into this game, obviously a much better quarterback, throwing the ball at 62%, almost 1,400 yards. And today's number, he's now 4 for 8 and only 56 yards. All of those 56 yards owned by his favorite receiver, Eli Heidenreich.
2nd and 10 for Navy from its own 36. Heavy to the left side. Pistol formation. Teska the deep back. Handoff Heidenreich running left. Fortner got blocked, and it ends up being tackled across the 40-yard line. And Casey Larkin was there along with Eric Ford and Andon Thomas, who made the tackle. So that's a pickup of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 4. They actually give him 6 on the play. That leg churning, getting a great spot. 3rd and 4 for the Mids from their own 42.
Teska got hurt on that play, then he got up and he was going after Fortner. I don't know if Fortner got the block on him or not, but Teska has not been a factor in this ball game, and he's a big part of them.
And he remains in the game, though, as the fullback. 4 yards deep of Horvath, who now checks into the shotgun. Trips to the right side. Kent, Heidenreich, and Chapman. From the left hash on 3rd and 4. Horvath keeps it straight ahead, cuts back 45-yard line. He's got the first down, out to midfield, gets broken away, and is off to the races. Run down from behind at the Army 20-yard line by Justin Weaver. Blake Horvath able to slip through for a 38-yard run. Used the official as a pick as he ran downfield, and Navy, just like that, is in business at the edge of the red zone. They snap it quick, draw play. Teska spun around and thrown down. That was Andon Thomas who made the tackle at the 18-yard line. A 2-yard gain after the 36-yard jaunt, or 34-yard jaunt, I should say, by Blake Horvath.
So Horvath really did a good job. He was slippery. He reminded me of the way he opened up the game on that opening drive, and he got into Army secondary. He looked a little bit behind him, allowed Weaver to catch up to him.
2nd and 7 for Navy from the Army 18-yard line. 5:55 left, third quarter, clock running. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Braxton Woodson on the field. Backup quarterback. Horvath keeps it, runs left to the 15-yard line and hit hard as he's taken down at about the 12. Noah Nixon had 2 hands on him and then was floored by Andon Thomas. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for Navy from the 12, and Colin Madison delivered some hit
Yeah, it was Colin Madison. Basically, Horvath was committing to going down, and kind of at the same time, Madison was pushing him down.
3rd down and 1 for Navy from the Army 12. Could be 4-down territory. Black Knights on top 16-7. Horvath keeps it. Quarterback sneak, and he's got it. Pushes ahead down to the 10-yard line, maybe just inside the 10. And it'll be 1st and goal for Navy. So Navy has it going on this drive. DeShantes Gray among those making the tackle.
Very interesting that they don't go with Ford. Noah Nixon is in there. He's a second-team defender. They're spot dutying him right now.
Chapman and Heidenreich bunched to the left side. Horvath out of the gun on 1st and goal from the Army 9. Horvath keeps it, runs left, is tripped up. Great play by Madison. Got him by the legs for a loss. Back to the 11. Horvath tried to take it left, and Madison just shot up in the gap, got to the legs of Horvath, and another negative yardage play for the Army defense.
And again, Madison leading him in tackles. He's got 9 now, and what a form-fitting tackle. As you said, Rich, he just got low on him and tripped him up.
And he outsmarted Teska, who got caught in the grass, was trying to pivot and basically slipped. Heidenreich lined up far to the right side. 2 receivers bunched left. Here on 2nd and goal for Navy from the Army 11. Horvath out of the gun, fakes the handoff, rolling to his right, dumps it off to Chapman. It's low and incomplete. Horvath threw it at the feet of Brandon Chapman. Another poorly thrown pass, and it's 3rd down and goal from the 11.
So Weaver is picking up. They were in zone coverage that time. Heidenreich, as you said, wide right. He goes into the end zone. Larkin did a great job covering him, and that allowed then Weaver to come up and contest the play, and another badly thrown ball.
And Horvath threw his arms up thinking like Chapman should have come up with that. He did have both hands on it. It was very low, though. Maybe not right at his feet, but... Yeah. 3rd down and goal for Navy from the Army 11-yard line for the left hash. Heidenreich out to the right side. Garrett out to the left side. Horvath back to throw under pressure. Now going to run with it straight ahead. Sandwich down inside the 5-yard line. Did not get to the goal line. Andon Thomas helped save the touchdown. And now it'll be 4th down and goal with the ball spotted at the Army 4. And again, it was Colin Madison helping out on the stop as well.
Yeah, they closed the hole pretty quickly, that's for sure. And again, with Andon Thomas coming in there with the big hit at the end.
And they're going to go for the field goal. Navy Army will leave regular defense on the field. Obviously wise to a fake. Nathan Kirkwood, 9 of 10 on the season. This will be from 22 yards from the left hash. Snap by Rain Fry. Jacob Carlson will hold it. Snap, ball is down, the chip shot is up, and that kick is good. So Navy picks up 3. Give the Army defense credit for holding the Mids to 3 points on a drive when it looked like Navy really had it cooking downfield, and the Army lead cut down to 6 with 2:59 left in the 3rd quarter. Army 16, Navy 10. We'll have more coming up in just a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
If you think a football game can't make you feel proud to be a citizen, think again and get your family to a home game at West Point. Producing leaders for the world's finest Army, West Point reminds us that we're all one team when push comes to shove. Doesn't matter who sits to your left or your right, and we the people are a force for good. With the nation about to celebrate its 250th year, spend an autumn day at West Point. Okay, they do fire a cannon when they score, but hey, it's the Army. And Rutberg Breslow Injury Law is proud to sponsor Army football.
This holiday season, experience the gift of luxury at the all-new GMC Bedford Hills, where new ownership means a fresh start and exceptional year-end offers. From the rugged Sierra to the refined Yukon, find the perfect GMC for wherever the road takes you this winter. Enjoy exclusive holiday incentives, first-class service, and a premium showroom experience. Make your move before the year ends and discover why more drivers are celebrating the season at GMC Bedford Hills. Visit them on Bedford Road or anytime at GMCBedfordHills.com.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
The Army A Club is dedicated to supporting the United States Military Academy's overall mission and the mission of Army West Point Athletics by generating financial support for the purpose of providing an extraordinary Division I athletic experience that develops leaders of character committed to the values of duty, honored country. By supporting the Army A Club, you ensure that more than 1,000 cadet athletes have the opportunities and means necessary to accomplish all that they can in their relentless pursuit of excellence as scholars, athletes, and leaders. Visit ArmyAClub.com or call 845-938-2322. And how about that Army A Club? A record-breaking giving day back on Tuesday, December 2nd. Stephen Donahue, Bianca Gudadalp doing a great job leading that unit. And first-year Army West Point Athletic Director Tom Theodorakis, we heard from him in the tailgate show, his first Army-Navy game. And today, before the game, it was announced Army and Nike have reached a multi-year extension of their apparel contract, and it goes so deep with Army-Navy uniforms, special event uniforms, and of course outfitting cadet athletes, coaches on the sideline, and of course at the retail end. A lot going on for Army Athletics right now, not to mention the new Mikey Stadium coming up next season.
Yeah, really looking forward to that, and we bring you the MCOR scoring drive summary. Horvath had a 37-yard run deep into Army country, but on a 3rd and goal, he was stopped at the Army 3-yard line, so they elect to go for the field goal to get it within 6. Nathan Kirkwood, 10 for 11 on the year, makes his first today, 21-yarder, and it's Army now leading by just 6, 16-10. MCOR proud partner of Army West Point Athletics.
And it is Lance Gossett kicking off, and again the fair catch called for made by Lloyd Benson at the 5-yard line. Ball will come out to the 25 for this Army offense. So here we are. There's 18 minutes left in this game. 2:59 left in the third quarter. Army on top by 6. Pretty simple, Dean Darling. If they could play keep away from Blake Horvath and the Navy offense, that now is the pathway to victory for this Army team.
And the difference in the ballgame right now is Horvath's 2 mistakes have cost them 6 points. And that's the margin right now that Army leads by.
Multiple motion in the Army backfield, and Helms under center with Rendina, who got the start at fullback, directly behind him. And Helms running right is going to keep it, cuts back up near the 28-29-yard line, where he's brought down. A good 4-yard gain on first down. Landon Robinson makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Helms now already carrying the ball for the 20th time. He's got 86 yards. 5 times this year he's gone over the 100-yard mark, and they need a steady game from him. Been a clean sheet game so far for Army.
They'll check into the shotgun here, a pistol formation with Rendina behind him. Liam Fortner, receiver out to the left side, goes tight to the line. Noah Short the left slot. Helms again runs it, follows behind Rendina and stumbles and flips over near the 32, 33-yard line. Gets a spot back to the 32. It'll be 3rd down and 3 with the tackle made by Adam Klenk.
So Army now on 3rd downs, 3 for 8. Last time they were in this situation, they had a false start, which made it into a 3rd and long, and then eventually they had to punt the ball.
Minute 55 left in this third quarter. Army on top, 16-10 over Navy. Helms out of the shotgun, now will go under center. Short, the receiver, out to the left side. Rendina, the fullback, moving along the Navy defensive line, an Army move. It was Teddy Williams from the right tackle spot.
I just got done saying they had a false start the last time, and that one hurts.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And that, you go back to the Jay Bateman days as Army defensive coordinator, that bingo play where the defensive linemen would all shift just before the snap, and it would be good for a false start every couple games, and that time Navy pulls one over on Army. 3rd and 8. 3rd down, 8 to go for Army from the Black Knights 27. Lots of motion, and Army now with 2 receivers out to the right side, though heavy to the left. Helms under center, Aiden Self in motion behind the formation. Play fake, Helms will throw, and he's sacked back at the 20. Ball fumbled, recovered by Army, and Self at the 25-yard line. There's a pileup. Navy said they had the football. It was clear that Self got his hands on it. And if they're going to say in that pile, they pull it off and it's Navy ball, that would be unfortunate. No, it is Self who covered it up, and it will be Army football at the 25 on a 4th down and 10.
Well, Self was going to be the GOAT because he completely whiffed on his block attempt, which caused the situation, the fumble from behind off the force. and then he had to jump on the football. Lucky enough for Army, but again, you got to pick up that outside defensive end coming in on the right.
And it was Mudame who got to Helms for the sack and the forced fumble. Wagenseller waits back at his 10. Navy doesn't come after the punt. A good kick, spiraling down, bouncing inside the 40-yard line. Now inside the 25 and touched up at the 24-yard line. That's a 51-yard punt for James Wagenseller just when Army needed it to help preserve field position. Navy will take over 1st and 10 at its own 24-yard line with 24 seconds left in this third quarter. What a game this has been.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate series there. You get Teddy Williams with a false start. You get Aiden Self missing on a block on a pass attempt. They had 2 receivers, as you said, out here to the near side with Anderson and Short, but Helms just couldn't get a step into his throw. Forced with a sack force, and then thank goodness that Self was there to jump on it.
Once again, it's up to the Army defense. Wagenseller, that's a big 51-yard punt. Let's remember that at the end of this game. Navy begins 1st and 10 from its own 24-yard line. Chapman in motion right to left. Fake end around. Horvath keeps it. Slips by Latour and then hit hard by Fortner down at the 27-yard line. That's a gain of 3, and that should bring us to the end of this third quarter. Navy does not need to snap the ball. They're huddled up and will not line up. And the final seconds tick away, and it's time for those Army fourth quarter warriors. Andon Thomas looking to the Army sideline and making the signal along with the entire Army football team. They come out on the field. We have 15 minutes of football left in this 126th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. When we come back, it'll be a 2nd and 7 for Navy from its own 27-yard line. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Black Knights fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Army football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Army Black Knights. Let's go, Black Knights! SeatGeek.
He's got the speed. He's got room. He's going to score.
No one gets you closer to the game than Sirius XM College Sports Radio.
For the win. Got it. Let's go.
Tune in for news, talk, and analysis from the offseason through regular season and into the postseason. We've got your team covered anywhere you go.
Deep to center field. Oh, it's gone.
Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Welcome back. Along with Dean Darling, Joe Beckerly, sideline reporter Tony Marino, I'm Rich DeMarco. You're listening to the Army-Navy game across the Army Sports Network from Learfield. Brought to you by USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Black Knights leading the Midshipmen 16-10 as we begin the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter is presented by General Motors.
You want to talk about how close this game is? Total yards, Army 193, Navy 195. The difference has been the 2 turnovers against Navy, and Army with none after 3 quarters of play. But Navy's defense has gotten better here. Third quarter into the fourth.
And welcome to the fourth quarter. As we mentioned, brought to you by GM Military Appreciation. Get a special offer on Chevrolet vehicles at gmmilitaryappreciation.com. It'll be a 2nd and 7 for Navy from its own 27. And it looked like Blake Horvath on that last Navy drive, which led to a field goal, breaking out of the cobwebs we've seen for a good portion of this game. Let's remember Army having to settle for field goals a couple of times, Dean, and probably the one that's most critical was the Justin Weaver, apparent 32-yard interception return for a touchdown. Had his knee down when he made the pick. Army had to settle for 3 on that drive, and that's a 4-point swing, right? 20-10 has a lot different complexion than 16-10.
Yes. And you can feel momentum a little bit shifting to the Navy's way right now, especially they're going to depend on Horvath and Heidenreich here in this final quarter of play. And Navy's ranked number 22 in the nation. There's a reason, but you look over their last 4 games, they went 2-2 after the great start, and they had a really good year in the American Conference, but that North Texas loss late in the year really hurt them.
It's such a chess match, and we talk a lot about Drew Cronick, the Navy offensive coordinator, Nate Woody, the Army defensive coordinator, and that matchup's been terrific today. And, a lot of time during the week, that's when the sausage is made in these game plans and putting players in position. And we've got 15 minutes left to see who will come away victorious, who will capture the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, who will have a visit to the White House this spring.
So through, 45 minutes, Army's held them to 10 points. This is a team that's averaging 32.5 points a game. So
sounds a lot like last year's Army-Navy game.
It really does. So let's see what happens here as we start into this fourth quarter.
It's 2nd and 7 for Navy from its own 27. Got to think about how many more possessions you're going to have in this game. Horvath checks into the shotgun. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Teska to his right in the backfield. Chapman in motion. Handoff to Teska running left. Nowhere to go. Taken down near the line of scrimmage. Picks up a couple actually out to the 27-yard line. We'll give him 3 on the play. Or check that, it's 1 yard from the 27 to the 28. We were right. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Cody Harrison-Miller makes the tackle.
I'm glad you mentioned him because he really plugged up that play. And then they went with that RPO situation. It wasn't a good give. They should have thrown the ball down the field.
Enormous play for the Army defense here. 3rd down and 6 for Navy from its own 28-yard line. Black Knights looking to hold Navy to a 3-and-out after the 51-yard punt by James Wagenseller. Blake Horvath out of the shotgun formation. 2 receivers bunched to either side. Horvath back to throw. Passes to Heidenreich. Pass caught across the 35. And he scurries out of bounds at the 36-yard line and forced out by Jaden Mays. And that's good enough to move the chains for Navy and a 1st down at the Mids 36-yard line.
Good job by Navy. They flooded the zone that time with a guy went deep with a deep out and then underneath. And they go to the underneath guy, and the ball thrown right on the money. Again, Horvath hasn't had a great game throwing the ball, but that time he gets Heidenreich.
Nathan Kent lined up out to the right side here on 1st and 10 for Navy from its own 36-yard line. Fake end around. Horvath hit in the backfield, and Bowsum's got it again back at the 25. That's an 11-yard loss on the sack. And once again, it's Jack Bowsum with a huge defensive play. He just bull rushed Brandon Chapman to get to Blake Horvath and make the play.
Yeah, he overcome Chapman. He just took him out of the way and still got an arm on Horvath to pull him down by the waist. And again, you got Chapman, who was 174 pounds. You got Bowsum coming in, coming off 3-4 steps with energy. What a great play by Bowsum.
And Bowsum, who's gotten so much better as the year has gone on, playing his finest game of this 2025 season. 2nd and 20 for Navy from its own 26. 3 receivers on the play, and Horvath going to run it, taking it left side, runs into a crowd at about the 29-yard line. Didn't get much, 2, maybe 3 yards. Stowers, we've said his name a lot today, makes the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 17, and the Mids needing a big play here against this Army defense.
We've been here before, Rich, right? A 3rd and 17, and they connected on a big pass for 20-plus. So Army's got to get pressure here on the situation. Obviously got to have coverage on to Heidenreich wherever he might be.
And the Army corners have played a great game so far today. 2 receivers right and 1 left for Navy. Horvath out of the shotgun. Teska to his right. Army giving some cushion. Horvath back to throw. Looking. Dumps it over to Teska. Incomplete. Goes wide at Teska. Another poorly thrown pass from Blake Horvath, and Navy's going to be forced to punt.
Boy, was that interesting. They only rushed 2 guys. They looked like they're going to send 3. They took Cody Harris-Miller, and they dropped him back to a linebacking position, so he picks up the middle zone, and then he threw it wide to the intended receiver, but that wouldn't have got him a 1st down anyway.
So Army just throwing everything at Navy. It'll be Jacob Carlson on to punt it away. Benson waits back at his 33-yard line. Army comes after it. They don't get to it. This is an end-over-end kick. A short kick gets a good roll. Benson fields it dangerously at the 23-yard line. He goes down there, and he gets maybe a 1-yard return to the 24. That 47-yard punt, 1-yard return. Army will begin 1st and 10 at its own 24-yard line when we come back. 12 minutes and 6 seconds left in this 2025 Army-Navy game. Army leading Navy 16-10. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Palantir Technologies is proud to serve as the official software partner of America's Game. And today, we're honored to support the Travis Manion Foundation. Founded in 2007, the mission of the Travis Manion Foundation is to invest in our nation's veterans and families of fallen heroes to lead and serve in our communities. Named in honor of First Lieutenant Travis Manion, USMC, who was killed in Iraq in 2007, the organization provides a proactive approach to mental health and suicide prevention by meeting veterans and surviving families before they reach crisis.
USAA was founded 100 years ago by military members promising to always have each other's backs. And while we've grown to offer insurance and more to over 14 million members, USAA's service still sets the standard. That's what our community, the military, and their families deserve. And now they know we take care of our own. USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army-Navy game. Learn more at USAA.com.
Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Rich DeMarco, Dean Darling, Joe Beckerly, and Tony Marino back at a sold-out M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Army leading Navy 16-10. The Black Knights will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. And I'll tell you what, Dean Darling, if you had told this Army team 3 hours ago, 3 days ago, 3 weeks ago, they'd be up by 6 with the ball at their own 24 and 12:06 left in the ball game, they would have taken that every day of the week. Here's an opportunity to drain some clock and come up with what could be some game-winning points.
Yeah, they were so well prepared for this game. When I talked to Cody Worley during the week, he said, you know, we talked about it. We went through spring ball on the Navy defense. I think we're more prepared for this Navy defense. And not to make excuses, but Army went into that game last year really having played 3 playoff games, right? They had to win the UTSA game to get the home playoff game against Tulane. They beat Tulane, and then they went into that Navy game, and they were flat. And Navy was better prepared and hungry. It almost seems like the roles have been totally reversed here. Army is the hungrier team here today through 3 quarters plus.
And the winner will capture the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, and we'll head to the White House in the next year with the Commander-in-Chief himself at the game here today, President Donald Trump. What a spectacle. And from the Navy enlistments, which we saw a few breaks ago, to now an Army commissioning ceremony, just a amazing celebration of America. Everything that's right in college sports, what's right in college football. And we have 12:06 to go, and Army in the lead over Navy, 16-10. Helms in the shotgun, Rendina to his left. One receiver out to the right side. Army going heavy to the left side in the formation. Now short in motion, fake pitch. Helms going to run it in some traffic, able to spin forward to the 25. Again, Helms having trouble colliding with someone in his backfield. Didn't have really anywhere to go. Picks up 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9. That time Helms had to actually pivot away from Will Jeffcoat, who was spun around in the backfield. Tackle was made by Bell.
They got to give some credit to that defensive line with their penetration. They're knocking Army's offensive line back a little bit here in the second half, and he has been boomeranged around a few times.
2nd and 9 for Army from its own 25. Now heavy to the left side. Samari Howard back in as the deep back. Play fake. Helms going to throw. Looking. Now he's going to run it out to the right side. No, throws on the run. And the pass intercepted at midfield. Thrown right to Philip Hamilton, who had cut in front of Grady Anderson. That's a tough throw across the field for Cale Helms. And Army turns it over for the first time today. Navy takes over at midfield with 11:19 left in the ball game.
Yeah, such a bad throw by Helms. He should have run the football. He had a lot of green ahead of him. He felt pressure coming. He eluded the pressure, and he did try to force the ball to Anderson instead of just throwing it away for another day. He tried to force the ball, and Hamilton, big pick.
And it looked like there was a lot of running room if Helms had decided to run it. Army turnover, Navy ball at midfield with 11:19 to play, and Army leading 16-10. We'll have more coming up in just a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Changing your garage doors is one of the easiest and most cost-effective ways to improve the look of your home's exterior. Family-owned and operated Whitaker's Garage Door Store has been installing, repairing, and maintaining garage doors in Westchester, Putnam, and Fairfield counties for 70 years. They install the latest LiftMaster technology that allows you to operate and check your garage doors from your smartphone. For more information and to schedule an estimate, go to WhitakerGarageDoors.com. Whitaker's Garage Door Store, keeping your doors on track since 1955.
If you are looking for insurance, auto, home, business, life, or disability, there's one name that should pop into your head immediately. Scott Markser State Farm. He's local. He's in Hyde Park. He grew up here. You'll get him or his licensed team. They'll make sure you're protected to the level you need to be. Trust is a big thing these days. I trust Scott Markser, and you should too. Call him now at 845-204-9444. That's 845-204-9444. Scott Markser State Farm.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Big defensive play for Philip Hamilton. He's a corner, moved to safety, a tremendous tackler that time. Was able to cut in front of Brady Anderson, pick off an underthrown pass from Cale Helms. Army turns it over for the first time today. Navy down 6. Takes over at midfield, and once again it's going to be up to the Army defense to hold Navy, because remember now, a Navy touchdown and an extra point gives the Mids the lead.
Yeah, that one hurt. That was just a really ill-advised throw that time. He was trying to make the big play. He had a sea of green ahead of him off the rollout. The pressure came off the corner. He got by that, and then he rolled to the right. He saw Anderson, his favorite receiver, who's had a nice game, tried to force it into coverage, and Hamilton with the big pick.
So it'll be up to this Army defense, and the Black Knights have made big plays throughout this game. Jack Bowsam, in particular, the sophomore from Annapolis, Maryland. It's so interesting, as a sophomore, Dean, had come on during the year, had the first career sack against Charlotte, played a lot against UAB, and it was just beautiful to see his improvement over the course of this year, manifesting in the performance we've seen here today.
Yeah, he's had several big games late in the season. Today, credited with 3 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and sacks.
So Navy will come out following the interception. 1st and 10 at midfield. Heidenreicher, receiver, out to the right side. 2 receivers bunched left. Horvath will go to the shotgun. Teska, a slot back to the right side. Army shifting on defense. Horvath awaiting the snap. Here's the pop and around to Braxton Woodson, looking to turn the corner and gets the corner. 40-yard line, tiptoeing his way back inbound, steps out of bounds at the 35-yard line. 3rd time we've seen the Navy backup quarterback Braxton Woodson on the field. His first big play on the end around, and Navy will actually pick up 10 yards on that. He initially went out of bounds, they said, at the 40-yard line. Good enough for a first down, but just a 10-yard gain.
The shame of that is that Larkin recognized the play ahead of time, and he alerted the rest of the defense to it. Then Larkin came up and he whiffed on the tackle. He actually diagnosed the play ahead of time, but Woods gets a first down.
1st and 10 for Navy from the Army 40. Horvath running left, cuts back. Ford got him from behind. He goes down near the 36-yard line. That's a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6, and give Ford, who's had a big game as well, chasing from behind. Then Thomas got him from the front side.
Cody Harris-Miller down for the Black Knights.
What a year for Cody Harris-Miller. Injured in the opener against Tarleton State. Initially an injury where, Dean, they weren't sure he was going to come back this year. Willed his way back to come back for the Air Force game. Played a terrific game against Air Force and has progressively gotten healthier and better. And he's gotten to the point where Nate Woody expected him to take the majority of the snaps here today. And he goes down with an injury here at a tough time with 10:34 left in the ballgame.
He has had a great final third of the season. As you said, stepped in big shoes in the Air Force game, played really well. He got hurt in this game a year ago at the time, and that really hurt Army's chances. So they're working on him right now out near the 40-yard line.
So Navy with a 2nd down and 6 from the Army 36. Let's go down to the field and Tony.
You know, guys, no doubt about it. Cale Helms was feeling that when he came off the field. Jeff Munkin had a few words from him. They actually watched the replay together up on the board. and you could see Jeff Monken, mouth what you guys had said, can't throw that ball there, and also pointed out, obviously, like you said, there was room to run there. What have you got in the first down? You just can't make that throw, certainly. But to watch Helms here kind of go back to his team on the bench, then come back here on the sideline and watch the game and root on his defense, it's just what you see with your eyes, and it's just like he's moved on and wants another opportunity, and that's what you need out of your quarterback in this spot.
And a great sight here is Cody Harris-Miller comes off the field on his own complete power, so that's great to see.
Actually, I think it was Tuioti, Rich. I misidentified him originally, and I think it was him that went off, and Cody Harris-Miller just went over to him to make sure he was okay.
So Army has gotten such a good 1-2 punch from that nose tackle position. Harris-Miller was Tuioti filling the spot for much of the year. Then it was Tuioti who went down with an injury late in the season. And someone asked me, what do you think of the nose tackle spot going into Army-Navy? I said, hey, in a perfect world, Cody Harris-Miller is going to start, but then Jacob Tuioti will be healthy to fill in whatever gaps you have during the game and have both of them at that spot.
And Tuioti had missed the senior day game against Tulsa, but then came back against UTSA. Well, that kind of stopped play right there, and momentum's been grabbed here by Navy, so the onus again on the Army defense to make play after play. And if you're Navy, you're going to be looking for number 22, Heidenreich. Getting him into single coverage is key.
And the Braxton Woodson presence on the field, we saw it very early in the game. They faked it to him a couple of times, and that big 10-yard run could have been a lot more.
Yeah, Braxton Woods, he's going to be the heir apparent to the quarterback spot next year. He's a junior now. He's a physical specimen. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, and can flat out run.
And played well in the beginning of the Notre Dame game, which Blake Horvath missed with a shoulder injury. Second down, we'll call it 6 for Navy from the Army 36. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Army jumping on the right end, Eric Ford. They're going to call it a false start as Ford got back.
Offense number 89. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So Luke Hutchinson, the wide receiver, had flinched. Ford jumped across, and then Sean Crowley, the left tackle, tried to move to say, hey, if Ford was in the neutral zone or across, that's an offside. But it was Hutchinson who had flinched on that end, and that's what forced Eric Ford to force the issue.
Haven't had a lot of penalties in this one, but they come at key times, it appears. Second one on Navy in the ballgame.
2nd and 11 for Navy from the Army 41. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Teska in motion and takes the end around. Alex Teska to the 35-yard line, stumbles and falls down about 2 yards short of the first down at the Army 32. He had some momentum, and that was a rare time. Horvath didn't keep it for himself. Caleb Fortner made the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, Fortner had to make it. Fortner was really close to the ground when he had to make the tackle. He just bowled over the protector, the other running back, and knocked him into Teska, tripped him.
You get the feeling this is 4-down territory for Navy, trailing 16-10, down to 9:25 left in this 126th Army-Navy game. Horvath out of the shotgun. 1 receiver left is going to keep it straight ahead. He's got the first down and then goes down just inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Horvath numbers unbelievable coming into this game. Back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing and passing yards years, and then you look at what he's done throughout his career. He's 19-4 as a starter. He's had a really shaking game here in the CIC competition in this one, but he was the hero against Air Force. He had himself over 500 yards of offense.
So it's a 1st and 10 for Navy at the Army 29. 8:40 left in the ballgame. Pistol formation. Horvath in the gun. High snap, hands off straight ahead. This is Teska. Has a hold, 25-yard line to the 20. Cuts back to the 10. Is wrapped up and thrown down at the Army 4-yard line. It was Casey Larkin who made the touchdown-saving tackle. And just like that, Alex Teska gives Navy a 1st and goal at the Black Knights 5.
Prior to that run by Teska, 7 carries for only 19 yards. That's a big one from the senior who busted into Army's second level and just took care of business down to the 5.
So now a 1st and goal for Navy. Army's defense has to hold the mids here without a touchdown. Tight formation. Horvath keeps it, runs left, hit at the 3-yard line, pushing his way to the goal line. Stop short at the 1. He hit the ground short of the goal line, then tried to push the ball over the line. It'll be 2nd and goal from inside the 1.
So Weaver just took himself out of the game. He was hurt on the play. Jackson Hammond will come in now at a corner. And Army making up some changes on the D-line.
The ball carrier being short of the goal line is under further review.
Very close. But it looked like Horvath was down just short. And actually, the ball should probably be placed right at the edge of the goal line. They have it pretty much at the 1-yard line right now.
He was laying across one of his teammates when he went down, and the ball's in his left arm, and he comes down, as you said, Rich, right at the goal line, just prior to the goal line.
So we'll wait for review. 7:42 left in the ball game. If the call on the field is upheld, it'll be a 2nd and goal for Navy inside the Army 1. Let's go down to Tony.
Guys, just get you an update on Jacob Tuioti. He's out of the medical tent, although standing alongside some of the training officials over there. So I don't believe he's going back out. I will say there's a 66, and according to our roster here, it's Chuck Johnson, who's listed as an offensive lineman, 6'3", 295. So if they're looking for some extra beef, they had sent him out here on that play that they thought was going to be a goal line play. Let's keep an eye on him and see if he stays out there. If we're going by the roster, it does look like a Chuck Johnson.
And the beautiful thing about the Army-Navy game, right, you can dress however many players you want, this being a non-conference game outside of the Americans. Maybe a Chuck Johnson, someone.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's 2nd and goal.
So we'll wait to see how Army defends this here from inside the 1-yard line. And this is 3 runs by Navy to get it in the end zone, right? This is at the 1-yard line. They're stopped. They're down 6. They know a touchdown could give them the lead. Less than half of the 4th quarter to go. 2nd and goal for Navy from the Army 1-yard line. Black Knights, 11 men on the line of scrimmage. Teska 3 yards behind Horvath. Horvath on the snake. Army looked like they stopped him.
They did.
And the ball is loose. Heidenreich ends up recovering it at the 9-yard line. Horvath ended up fumbling the football on the quarterback sneak, and suddenly now it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 8.
It was Andon Thomas who put a tremendous shoulder hit on Horvath, and the ball popped free. And Army actually had a great opportunity to jump on it.
That was a late developing turnover as the ball bounced around. I think the backs and backside of a couple of players. And Army and Eric Ford nearly had the recovery at the 3-yard line. 3rd and goal for Navy from the Army 8. A little bit of breathing room here for a potential pass. Horvath out of the gun. Steps up, looking under pressure. Shields trips him up and throws as he was going down. Ball ends up loose, recovered near the 23-yard line. That's either going to be a sack, an incomplete pass, and it is an incomplete pass.
An incomplete forward pass. It's 4th down.
Wow. I thought his knee might have been down when he threw it. Was throwing it on his way down.
No, he got rid of it.
That was Patrick Mahomes-esque getting rid of the ball.
Yep.
4th and goal from the 8. I think if you're Navy, you're going to go for it.
You have to. You have to, because you don't know if you're going to get the ball back.
And the thought is, if you don't get it, Army's got the ball at its own 8. You're still winning the field position battle. 4th and goal for Navy from the Army 8-yard line. 6:37 left in the ball game. Army leading Navy 16-10. 2 receivers to either side. Horvath out of the shotgun. 1 back in the backfield. Horvath back to throw, looking, dumps it over the middle. Pass caught for the touchdown. Eli Heidenreich beats Casey Larkin over the middle. And Navy scores on the 4th and goal, and now an extra point away from taking the lead with 6 minutes and 32 seconds to play in the Army-Navy game.
Yeah, boy, that's a great throw by Horvath, and Heidenreich right in the middle of the end zone. And Larkin was on him. He just couldn't get his hand in again to dislodge the ball. Officially an 8-yard touchdown pass.
On 4th and 8, Navy connects from Horvath to Heidenreich, and now Kirkwood on to attempt the biggest extra point of his career. Snap ball is down, the PAT attempt is up, and it's good. So for the first time since the opening quarter, Navy is in the lead here in the 126th Army-Navy game. An 8-yard scoring toss from Blake Horvath to Eli Heidenreich gives the Midshipmen a 1-point lead at 17-16. 10 straight points for the Mids after Army took a 9-point lead at 16-7, and now it's going to be up to the Army offense. They have 2 timeouts and 6:32 to play to move the ball downfield to try and win this one. Let's go down to the field and Tony Marino.
All right, guys, so I've got one for you. Remember when we thought it was Chuck Johnson who was out there actually on that earlier play at the goal line? And, of course, there was a fumble there at that time. It was not Chuck Johnson. It was Brady Small wearing a jersey 66. He was out there. He was at the goal line. We had a new nose tackle out there. Dean Darling will remember one of our plane trips earlier this year, Brady Small asked by Nate Woody, hey, might you be able to play nose tackle for me? And Brady Small said, maybe the Navy game. It happened, guys. It happened.
So Brady Small seeing action on the defensive side. And, of course, Brady having to wear a different number because he wears the same number as one of Army's star linebackers, Anton Thomas, the number 51. So the Heidenreich touchdown. And Navy's had to grind this one out. Dean Darling, that on a 4th and goal from the Army 8. But and the Black Knights still with an opportunity here.
Well, it was Army's mistake, and it cost them at midfield because the interception thrown by Helms, picked up by Hamilton, and they turned it into points. 9 plays, 50 yards, 447, 4th and goal, the touchdown pass. Again, Horvath fighting Heidenreich. Boy, have they combined during their career, especially over the last 2 years. And with the extra point, 17-16.
Lance Gossett will boot it away. He tried that pooch on his first kickoff of the game. Army's fair caught all of them. And now a fair catch called for by Benson. He fields it at the goal line. And it'll be Army football at its own 25. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
920 WGHQ Kingston, 1260 WBNR Beacon, and 1420 WLNA Peekskill. This is the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
1st and 10 for Army from its own 25. 6:32 left in the ball game. Army finds itself trailing 17-16. 2 receivers right, man in motion, Noah Short. Here's Cal Helms keeping it left side, hit at the line of scrimmage, and taken down for no gain. Griffin Willis, the junior defensive end, making the stop. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Willis has had a nice game today as he came off that side. Helms was running to, and he's got 4 tackles here in the ball game, and he was just waiting for Helms. And you can tell the momentum has really shifted to Navy. The crowd for Navy is just making so much noise. Tough for Helms to hear the cadence.
Army needs 50 yards, really. If they get it to the 25, that's a low 40s field goal attempt for Dawson Jones, but a ways away from that. On 2nd and 10, Helms rolls to his right, under pressure, nowhere to go with it, then throws it away. So now we're looking at a 3rd and 10. A penalty flag goes down. And if this is a hold, that's going to make this even worse. It's 3rd and 10 or 2nd and 20.
Holding offense number 27. It's a 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So it's 2nd and 20, and they call Samari Howard for pulling down Coleman Cauley as Helms was rolling out. I don't know. I might have taken 3rd and 10 if I was Navy. Now Army's got another down, obviously knowing they're going to throw the football. 2nd and 20 for Army from its own 15-yard line. 2 receivers right. Howard, the one back to the right of Helms. Helms straight back to throw. Pressure coming. Now going to run with it. 15-yard line out near the 20. Spun around and thrown down at around the 22. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 13. Mudame making the tackle along with Mark Anthony Parker.
Mudame has had a nice game, total of 5 tackles. Cauley leads him with 10, but he had 9 in the first half. Big third down.
Army only has 2 timeouts. They had to use one early in the second half. Helms looks near sideline for the play. Play clock down to 10. Now setting into the pistol formation with Rendina behind him. 2 receivers bunched to the left side, and now short in motion. Play fake to Rendina. Now Helms, is he going to run with it? No, throws on the run deep down the middle of the field into coverage, and it's juggled and nearly intercepted. Dropped by Maxwell Williams. Pass intended for Brady Anderson, but there were 2 Navy defenders right on Anderson. It'll be 4th and 12, and the Army punt unit comes on. Credit Anderson for breaking up that pass, playing a little pass defense.
Yeah, he came back with his right arm to break up the pass. Would have been definitely an interception. He made a nice play out of that.
So Wagenseller comes on. Waits the snap at his 8-yard line. Back deep, Brandon Chapman. Here comes the boot from Wagenseller. A good kick, takes a good Army roll, picked up by Chapman at the 35, and then dives forward for a couple of yards. That would have taken a tremendous Army roll had Chapman not fielded it. That's a 42-yard punt, 2-yard return, a 40 net. And now with 4:50 left in the game, Navy leading by 1 point. Will get the ball back at its own 38-yard line. And an opportunity here to run out a good portion of the clock. Army with 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout. And Army's got to step up here defensively to give its offense the ball back.
Cole Seawright is out there as an extra linebacker.
Horvath out of the shotgun. One back to his right, a receiver to either side. Takes the snap and then a slow run upfield and his undercut coming up again. That was Casey Larkin making the tackle. Flipped him over at about the 20, a gain of 1. Or check that, 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Good job on the anticipation there by Larkin. Got right in underneath his pins, knocked him over, small gain.
Army's defense has come up with so many big plays in this game and so many just so close. The fumble inside the 5-yard line. Army nearly recovered. The interception with a knee down was not a return for a touchdown. 2nd down and 8 for Navy from its own 40. Out of the gun. Horvath going to keep it. Runs left. Andon Thomas has got him at the 44. And then a big pile pushing Horvath back. Somehow stays on his feet and spins forward to the 46. Navy's offensive line signaling it was a first down. He's about 3 yards short of that. But still, instead of a 3rd and 5, it's only going to be a 3rd and about 2.
Biggest 3rd down of the game.
Army's defense has to come up big here. Down to 3:35 left in this 4th quarter. Navy leading Army 17-16. Mids with 2 receivers out to the left side. Nathan Kent and Alex Teska. One back to the left of Horvath. Man in motion. Handoff Heidenreich. Cutting upfield. It's got the first down and spins forward to midfield. So now, with Navy picking up that first down, Army's going to have to rely on its timeouts. They have 2 of them, including, in addition to 2-minute timeout. We're down to 3 minutes left in the game. Clock running. Navy a 1st and 10 at midfield.
Yeah, that's a big run by Heidenreich. Only carried the ball before that a total of 4 times.
Horvath will work out of the shotgun. Fresh set of downs for the midshipmen. Teska to his right. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Horvath, arms extended, awaits the snap. Handoff, Teska straight ahead, slips through, falls forward to the 45 of Army. Casey Larkin makes the tackle. Army will take its 2nd timeout of this second half with 2:29 left. That's a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Mids.
Second charge timeout. Army, please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2:30.
So pretty simple here. You got to stop them here. Take another timeout. And I'll tell you what, maybe we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. If Navy picks up a timeout, Army should just let the Mids score and then go down 8 and know it's still a 1-score game if they can score and pick up a 2-point conversion. But we're not yet there, and Army can stop the clock one more time. They'll also have the 2-minute timeout. And this 126th Army-Navy game is going to go right down to the wire. 10 straight points for the Mids after Army had taken a 16-7 lead. And you think about those 3 Army field goals. Maybe not the one just before halftime, but 2 others where Army had an opportunity to score a touchdown, had to settle for 3. Could end up being the difference in this ball game.
Again, onus on the defense. Got to get stops. Teska has had a really good last couple series by Navy because he was really held in his place there in the first half, but they've gone to him. I mean, you look at this team, Senior and Teska, Heidenreich Senior, Horvath Senior. These are all key guys for them, and it's money time for them right now to try and win this game.
2nd and 5 for Navy from the Army 45-yard line. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this 4th quarter. Army with 1 timeout plus the 2-minute timeout. Chapman lines up as a receiver out to the left side. Nathan Kent to the right side. A back to either side of Horvath out of the shotgun. Handoff. Heidenreich runs left. Is stood up by Andon Thomas and Gavin Shields. And stopped for about a 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 3. Army will use its 3rd and final timeout.
3rd and final charge time out of the half. Army.
With 2:24 left in this 4th quarter. And now really it comes down to one play for this Army defense. Should Navy pick up a first down here, Army's looking at getting the ball back if they can with just a handful of seconds left in the game.
The difference in the ball game has been 3rd down conversions, that's for sure. Navy's had 16 opportunities and made good on 11. Army 10 times and only made good 3. So like you said, if you get the stop here, you're going to force the punt. You're going to get the ball deep in your own end, but at least you're going to have a shot at the end of the ball game in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah, and Army would just need a field goal. The key is they've got to get the ball back. And 3rd down and 3. This is the game. This is the play for this Army defense. If the Black Knights are going to have a chance to come back. If Navy picks up the first down, you're looking at 2 minutes. You take a knee 3 times, 40 seconds each time. If Army got the ball back, it would be just with a couple seconds left in the game. This is the play. 3rd down and 3 for Navy at the Army 43-yard line. 2:24 on the 4th quarter clock. Army was in control of this game into the 3rd quarter, led it at halftime 13-7, extended the lead to 16-7. A field goal and a touchdown by Navy has given the lead back to the Midshipmen, and now Navy 3 yards away from icing this one and defeating Army for the 2nd straight year.
Does Army sell out against the run? Do they just bring those safeties up close, try and defend against the run? Does Navy counteract that with a throw?
And that's the chess game here. Horvath will work out of the shotgun. Teska to his left. 3rd and 3 from the Army 43. Horvath runs it left, hidden. Ball comes loose. It's fumbled. Army signaling that they've recovered it. Horvath just got rocked, and it looked like he recovered the fumble, then had it knocked away again. Either way, he's short, and if Army comes up with the football, they do! What a play! 2 fumbles for Horvath essentially on that play. Had it knocked away, got it back.
Was a fumble. Recovered by
I think it was Eric Ford.
And then Army is back in business with 2:07 left to play.
So he gets popped there by Fortner. Ball goes in the air. I think it was Ford that came down on it. No?
Oh, I think Ford came down with it, but I think on that review, the ground might have forced that second fumble, and that's what's going to be reviewed. Horvath leaned forward, had the ball on the ground before Ford took it away. Wow. So Army's defense, nonetheless, it's short of the first down. So it would be a 4th down for Navy. They might choose to go for it, though, on a 4th and 1, but it would be a 4th down. And it was Horvath who was just rocked by Caleb Fortner, got his helmet right at the football. Horvath then picked the football out of the air, was hit by Colin Madison, tried to reach the ball forward for a first down, And after his hand had hit the ground, his knee wasn't on the ground. But once the ball hit the ground, I don't know if that would then be a second fumble that Army recovered, because the ground can cause the fumble. But if he puts it on the ground and picks it back up and has it taken away and his knee isn't down, that would be a fumble. So it's so tough, and the call on the field was a fumble.
Yeah.
Right? If you put your hand down with the football on the field, you can then pick it back up as long as your knee's not on the ground. If his knee wasn't on the ground and his hand was on the ground, picked it back up, and Ford took it away, it would be a fumble. His knee wasn't down.
He was laying on a teammate.
So I think that's what you're interpreting there. The ground can't cause a fumble, but the ground didn't cause the fumble. His hand hit the ground with the football, it came up, and then Eric Ford took it out of his hands. Yep. So by that definition, and it's all going to come out to the interpretation, let's get the call on the field by Tim Rich.
After reviewing the play, the Navy player had control of the ball when his shoulder was down. It would be 4th down at the 40.5 yard line. The game clock will start at my signal.
So his shoulder was down. I didn't see the shoulder down there. I thought his hand was down. I think Navy's going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
First of all, they'll try to get Army to jump.
And I think they're going to take it down to the 2-minute timeout because we have the clock running down to 2:07, 2:06. So they'll be able to talk things over in our final timeout of this game. So there we have it, 2-minute timeout. And 1 yard is going to decide whether Army gets another shot in this one, trailing Navy 17-16. We'll have the conclusion coming up in just a moment. You're listening to Black Knights College Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
For 130 years, the Exchange has been committed to improving the quality of life for service members and their families. Now, honorably discharged veterans can shop for life at shopmyexchange.com. No fees, no gimmicks, just tax-free savings and a way to stay connected to those who serve. And 100% of the Exchange's earnings support the military community. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
If you wear a military uniform today, hung it up years ago, or grew up watching a loved one put it on, you could be part of our community at USAA. Those who served and joined, their spouses, kids, and then grandkids. Founded by military members over 100 years ago, we're still taking care of our own. USAA, proud presenter of the 126th Army Navy game. Become a member today at USAA.com/join.
Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
You're listening to the Army Black Knights Football Radio Network on 92.5 FM in Kingston, 96.5 FM in Beacon, and 94.3 FM in Peekskill.
Joe Beckerly and Tony Marino back at M&T Bank Stadium. 2 minutes left in the 126th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. Navy with a 4th and 1 just outside the Army 40-yard line after what could have been a game-changing play. Army forcing another fumble from Blake Horvath in this one. Was able to recover it, thought he fumbled it again, and Eric Ford had taken it away. But he was ruled that his shoulder was down, had control when his shoulder was down before Ford took it away. So now it's a 4th and 1 for the Mids. It looked like Navy, Dean, was preparing to go for it here, and they would essentially win the game if they pick up the first down.
Yeah, it's a gamble, though, because if they're stopped and all Army needs is the field goal to win the game. But they have enough confidence in that offense to try and get a yard.
Jacob Carlson, number 15. We'll see where he is and if they're going to run him out there.
Give so much credit to Horvath. He took a tremendous lick by Fortner, but able to concentrate on the ball while it was in the air, to regather it, and then go down with it, ruling down with the shoulder. Saved himself a big turnover.
And Navy, its offense on the field as the final seconds run out in the timeout, and it will be the Navy offense needing 1 yard.
Army's got to be so disciplined on the cadence. Can't get drawn off.
And 66 is in there at nose tackle next to Cody Harris-Miller. It's Brady Small and Cody Harris-Miller in the middle of that line. Blake Horvath up under center, setting up for what would be a quarterback sneak. 4th and 1 for Navy from the Army 40 to win the game. The handoff to Teska. He pushes across the 40, gets the mark, and he does pick up the first down. Alex Teska needed a yard, got about 1.5 yards, and Navy now can run down this clock with under 2 minutes to play and a 1-point lead over Army.
They went power left that time. Army was anticipating it. They had a lot of people over there at the point of the attack, but Teska, who's come up big here in the second half, just plowed over and got a first down.
And now Army cannot stop the clock. The clock down to 1:30. Navy in a single safety formation with Horvath under center. Horvath takes the knee. That'll take us under 1 minute. And Navy with 2 more knees will defeat Army for the 2nd consecutive year.
By the slimmest of margins.
And win the Commander-in-Chief's trophy for the 2nd straight season. Army fought so hard in this game, in a game where they needed to have so many things go right. Horvath, single safety, takes another knee. I'll tell you what, Dean Darling, for the 4th time this year, Army's going to lose a game where they won the turnover battle.
Yeah.
Only 3 times in the last 9 years before this season it had happened. 4 times this year, Army will have lost a game where they won the turnover battle, including this one here today. Down to 20 seconds. Navy's got to snap it one more time. Horvath lines it up. Teska is the single safety. And he takes a knee, and the final seconds tick away. And for the 2nd consecutive year, Navy defeats Army and wins the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. As fireworks are set off here at M&T Bank Stadium, and both teams in a crowd at midfield, they will soon move their way behind the end zone to our right for the playing of the alma maters. And by the thinnest of margins, Navy holds off Army by the final score of 17-16.
Army's last 6 games have been decided by a total of 16 points. Razor